Good morning. Good morning. Hey, gaming with Pain and Nature. I'm not awake yet. Good morning, Carrie. How are you today? Guys, this is going to be a short live stream compared to what I normally do. I have some stuff queued up. Want to get out some really what I feel is important information to any of those that have been afflicted by Milton and Helene real quick, especially concerning FEMA and the 750. So, yay, I've been approved finally. Finally got through to a rep at FEMA. Very nice gentleman named Richard. Thank you so much. Shout out to Richard. You guys, reason I say that, and if you're on replay crew, this still is applicable and everything. So after 2.5 hours on hold on a Saturday, where I'm thinking people thought maybe their office was closed. Sunday's the only day they're not open. Good morning, Annette. And I think a lot of people thought they wouldn't be open on a Saturday, so it was easier to get through. What Richard told me is from the 28th of September up until either the 1st or 2nd of October, it's around midnight-ish, so it's a little difficult to be exact there. FEMA was doing direct deposits. The application come in, within 72 hours, you got your direct deposit. The problem was something in their system was allowing, I'm trying to think of what they call it, fraudulent payments. And the reason they say fraudulent is there's supposed to be one per household. Whether you have one household member or 10 household members, one 750 payment is it, which I think is stupid in my opinion. But hey, my opinion matters for horse knuckles apparently. Anyway, long story short, they put in some kind of AI fraud detective system. And if you're getting direct deposit on the FEMA 750 and you ask for direct deposit, it's taking longer. Okay? So I have been waiting since the 4th of October. Persons I know, and I'm talking at least 7 people that I know that got paper checks that applied after me already received their paper check. That's why I was calling. 3 people besides myself that did direct deposit that applied the day before me, the same day as me, and the day after me have still yet to get their direct deposits or eligibility. Okay. So, and Richard told me there's no rhyme or reason to it. It's not in a chronological order. The system, the algorithm, whatever you want to call it, is set up to just, as it comes. So I changed mine to a paper check. That was Saturday afternoon. They're closed on Sunday. Monday morning, I was eligible and approved. So on the 14th, I was eligible for the 750. I've been eligible for 30 days worth of free hotel stay since the 4th. Took 10 days to just get approved for the 750. Why is that important? Because we're in an emergency disaster situation. We need people to move, as T.I. would say, expeditiously, not like snails up a mountain on a cold day traveling through molasses, okay? And that's what our government's been moving like, and that's the problem. Understand that. Nobody, I think that's what people are missing. When y'all hear the people coming out of the mountains and they're stuck and people are dying, and not being helped, and I said it, and YouTube might slap me for it. I'm at the point I don't care right now. It's not saying that FEMA's not there and they're not trying to help. Okay, let me say that. Personally, if they don't go into disaster areas, into the worst stricken areas for safety reasons, why the hell are you there? If you're not part of the solution, then you're part of the problem. Go sit down somewhere. Sit at a desk, punch your little keys on the computer, write the stuff on the paper, and leave the people that's sweating down the crack of their buttocks to help their fellow neighbors across the way and leave them alone and let them work. The government don't got to control everything. That's what a democracy is supposed to be about. For the people, by the people. I think somewhere along the way, that has gotten lost. Y'all give me 1 second. I got to turn this little heater down. It's got it hot up in here now. By the way, anybody that wants to know, again, Samaritan's Purse is an excellent organization that has been helping, that's been there. They've been in the trenches. And if my sound went a little off, it's because I walked away for a second across the room. They've been there. I can attest to that. Aid that was earmarked for my area, specifically, I was told was earmarked for my area, arrived. I got the message through a DM about it being earmarked and requested, and that afternoon it was available less than a mile from my house at a church. Believe it or not, I promise you that. No, I have not received my check yet from FEMA. Let me say that. The 14th, I was eligible in the amount. The 16th, yesterday, I got the email and the text. I'm praying, and I'm asking you guys, please pray it comes today. So I can buy some necessary items I don't have. TP and such. Hold on. Yeah, Docky mushroom sandwich. Please. Okay. Sorry, y'all. I've dropped stuff when I got up. Well, away. Anyway, toilet paper, paper towels. Some things like that I don't have and I need to get. Dog food. And that's some things that can be sent. Burke County is on the FEMA list. A lot of people told me they're not, and that I have shown videos of the area on previous broadcasts. There's a couple things I want to address too. I've not heard anybody talking about. I've heard about the quartz mines. I've heard about the lithium mines and whatnot. And that's all speculation. Folklore, whatever you want to call it. Here is something that's going on that I've heard nobody talk about. Within a 5-mile radius of my house, myself included, would it surprise you guys to know that certain electronic appliances have been affected by the storm? And maybe somebody that has electrician or electrical background could explain it to me more. I'm going to go into detail personally. Hey, Mama Bear, how are you today? I hope you're doing good, baby. Good to see you. I've noticed, sorry, can't control the dog. I'm dog sitting still. She a good pit. Oh, she got my back. She heard the door. It's her mama, and she don't even know it. Come here, Dottie. It's okay, baby. Good girl. Good girl, Dottie. I hope I didn't blow y'all's eardrums out. Hold on. Let me mute right quick to see what Dottie's mama says. Okay, guys, sorry. J Rock, I'm wondering, was there something, or is there something about Cerner Harp or some type of weather manipulation that could have been done that could have caused, you know, um, something? You know what I mean? And let me be specific as to why. Within a 5 mile radius, hey, Susan, welcome. Within a 5 mile radius of my residence, just polling neighbors and just randomly talking, something keeps coming up over and over again, and it's very odd and disconcerting, okay? Everyone's microwaves, when our power came back on, weren't functional at first for the first like 48 to 72 hours. Okay? Wouldn't light up, wouldn't do a beep. The digital clocks weren't working on them. The lights wouldn't come on. They were non-functional. And that's just randomly something I found out over the past few days, just speaking to neighbors and friends in the area. You know, you run into somebody at the corner store and they're like, I'm going to give me another microwave. Ever since that storm, it ain't working. And you start talking and it comes out. Okay. Also, after about 3 days, they started functioning partially again. Like my whole digital screen doesn't light up all the way. It's like one of the numbers is partially lit up. Like when you put 30 seconds on, you can see the 0, but not the 3. You can't see if it's a minute. You can see the 1. You can't see the 1 and the 2 dots and the first 0. You just see the last 0. All of them are newer appliances, Mama Bear. I'm getting there. Just hold on. Now, my 1-minute button and 3-minute button, like the 1 and the 3 where you push it and hold it and it does a minute or 3 minutes, and the 30-second button is all that functions. The stop button don't function. You just have to open the door to stop it. Okay? There's more in it. Y'all just hold on. I haven't gotten to ask other people because I didn't think about it before then. But my washing machine, it's a Samsung, 27-inch. It's the stainless steel looking ones. Mom had rebought appliances right before she passed away, to be honest with everybody. We got Whirlpool stove that's digital with a matching Whirlpool side-by-side stainless steel refrigerator. They're probably old now, Then the Samsung washer and dryer, okay? They're all digital and the matching microwave. The washing machine keeps giving its UP symbol on it, saying that the load isn't evenly distributed. Here's the problem. I ran it with the cleaning stuff you're supposed to put in it, every so often to clean your washing machine because, like, it gets dirty. Nothing's in there but the water and the cleaning agent. It's telling me that. The spin cycle doesn't work. So 3 of my neighbors are telling me the same thing as well, okay, about their digital washing machines. People that have the older kind with the knobs ain't got the problem, okay? My stove keeps saying F something, and when I looked it up, it's saying that it's uneven. Maybe that's from flooding damage or something, that where the water leak is, that I still haven't got anybody. The adjuster's not came out yet. It's still pending to be assigned, blah, blah, blah. FEMA, the way they move getting a checkout. My house will be crumbled to the ground from a water leak before they can get out to do an inspection. Just saying. That being said, maybe, Mama Bear, maybe it's the moisture. It's just weird because none of the TVs are doing it. The cable boxes ain't got no problems. I'm thinking the washing machine and the stove, possibly. It's weird to me that I have upwards of 20 people within a 5 mile radius that all have the same microwave issues. The other appliances came up and worked when the power came back on, their digital displays and all that. The microwaves, everybody's saying they weren't working, that they're still not fully functional. Nope, cable box ain't doing it, router ain't doing it, modem ain't doing it, laptop ain't doing it, cell phones ain't doing it, digital clocks ain't doing it, even the one that sits on the floor. And by the way, my cable box and modem are only about 5 inches from the floor. I'm trying to think the refrigerator's not doing it. The dryer's not doing it, and it's right next to the washing machine, and they're both the same brand. Both of them are digital. But know this. That's right. That's right. That's right, Mama Bear. Agreed. I mean, I tried to highlight it and messed up. Hold on. Sorry, y'all. I'm not good with this. Okay. Sorry. The dryer is a Samsung dryer also. Has the same capabilities, except for the dryer doesn't have the Wi-Fi capability. Like or Bluetooth. It's Bluetooth, I guess. Where you can put an app on your phone and control the dryer. And by the way, I'm going to highlight this because YouTube took your comment away. No, I hadn't seen that. We gonna talk about J-Rock. Stay around because you might want to see something I'm gonna cover here as soon as I finish getting this part out. I want to talk about tariffs. I want to show y'all a couple clips from 2 different interviews, one that Kamala did and one that Trump did. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. I don't talk politics. I've never told people my thoughts when I've been on a live stream. But I just feel our country, our nation, us as free individuals is under attack. And I just need to speak. I prayed on it and I'm going to speak. The last 8 years, I was a never Trumper. You know what I mean? Like, I despise Trump. I don't like him. I'm not going to sit here and tell y'all I do. Still say I'm going to write in to vote for Chili Pepper, okay? Bingo, Mama Bear. I do agree with you on that. Microwaves also have different frequency. I've looked into that. I don't know about the EMP thing, but what I'm wondering about is if there was some type of electronic manipulation. And I've been looking into a lot of the weather manipulation stuff that's out there. There's more than we know. I mean, Dubai has a program out there that they're telling the whole world about where they're trying to make it rain because they have severe drought issues. Please don't think that our government doesn't have that capability. If you think that's not true, then look at the latest information on what happened to that Malaysian flight and what we've been lied to about there. Well, if that stream got took down net, don't worry because I got it somewhere else. I'll be glad to show it. If I don't know which one you're talking about, but I got both. I've got Trump in the World Economic Forum, and I have the interview that Kamala did with Fox. And I'm praying that the channel that I'm going to use to show it to you guys doesn't strike me and take me down. When I get there, it's a reaction channel. It's young men of college age. Thank you, Annette. You are correct. You are very correct. That was when cloud seeding began. This is more insidious than cloud seeding. And by the way, our government has tried to do hurricanes there's multiple times during the Vietnam era, during World War II, and they were not successful. Actually, they ended up making it worse. I get what you're saying, Mama Bear, but when we start messing with Mother Nature, I think there's side effects that we're not ready for. Is possibly a great portion of this climate change and destruction to our world that they're talking about may be caused by our governments trying to be God and mess with Mother Nature and do things they were never meant to do. I'm just saying. Just saying. Just a question, not answers, questions. I don't purport to have the answers. I do know I've looked into something. I've looked at NAFTA. I know what it did to this country. I know what it did to my family. I know what it did to this area and many other areas. Our furniture industry is gone. Our textile industry is gone. And they were like, oh, well, we went through the Industrial Revolution, and now we're going through the technological revolution. Well, then what happened? Silicon Valley crashed. It was all hopes and dreams and promises and empty air. And a lot of that, believe it or not, was government funded. If y'all think that, I can't, certain entities that control most of those people that put out free press, the person that writes my check, that owns the company that writes my check, if I get one from this platform, their original, hold on a second, let me tell her, okay, she had the TV on, she about to turn it down a little bit. Anyway, that company was actually funded through what's called a CIA seed fund. A lot of the tech industry was. Just like the internet as we know it now was available and being used by our government pre-1970. Not as functional as we have it, more of a network system. But before they were allowed in a lot of other places, before they are allowed, J-Rock, it's blocking you because you're typing in all caps. YouTube is not allowing your comments up here. As I can see them on Restream, but I'm not able to see them on YouTube because you're typing in all caps, but I'm highlighting it. Don't worry. I won't. I'm going to show y'all facts and documents and places you can go find it. You can do your research yourself. But oh wow, is it not gonna? There you go. J-Rock, if you stop talking in all there you go. See, as soon as you didn't type in all caps, your comments is on my screen. Ain't that crazy? I find that insane. Welcome to YouTube land. Welcome. But what's important, there was a government program, and I can't remember the name of it, but I found through my research, and some videos on YouTube I found that told how Silicon Valley was financed. Majority of it was financed through a CIA seed company. It was titled something else. The money was funneled into it, research and development, blah, 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 like they always do. Now, I want something I think is a very important thing for my regional area and for the whole U.S. Um, a lot of corporate entities want to go overseas. And I want to explain something. And I think Trump explained it well. I was surprised at the grasp, but then I shouldn't be because he has been a CEO of companies, okay? Tariffs, a lot of people don't understand them. So the way they've always explained it to us is we lower our tariffs because, say, this company that wants to manufacture cars, they have to buy steel from China. And if we put a tariff on it, then the price of the car goes up because they have to pay more for steel. Well, I can't see that the price of any damn thing has went down because they've lowered tariffs. Um, and the way a couple, and I'll try to see, the clip I want to show you even shows like a world economist explaining what Trump says. It's not he's saying across the board. It has to do with layman. Got it. But here's the deal. If we try to sell a car, General Motors, Ford, whatever, that's manufactured here in Japan, there's 100% tariff on that vehicle. China, same thing. If they allow it in even. UK, same thing. Since, and I want to let the experts explain it. And if there's any questions, understand. But what it's a bargaining chip. We say, if you're not going to go down on that 100% tariff on us selling shit, then we're going to tax everything you bring into our country 50 more percent. We're going to charge you. It's like, if you're going to make it out of the U.S. and bring it in here, and we can't bring it to you, then we're going to make you pay what you're making us pay. Tit for tat. And the idea is one of two things will occur. Either they'll lower the tariff on USA goods, or they'll build a factory here and employ our citizens so that they don't have that tariff. Either way, it helps us out. It is all about that almighty dollar, Mama Bear. You are correct. And the thing is, and y'all forgive me, but I don't know, I'm going to spell it, but I don't know a better way to put it. As far as our government looks to other people, agreed, J-Rock. Agreed. I don't know if y'all heard about what happened around here. Rutherford is right above me, and people got tired of FEMA around here. We don't take certain shit too good, especially when we feel like that people's trying to be kind and helpful, and y'all screwing them over. I understand there was a truckload of people hunting FEMA to run them up out of there because you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. Anyway, back to what I was saying about the tariff thing specifically. And the reason that I'm addressing that specifically is because it directly affects American systems. It directly affects American people. Look, again, everybody says, well, the hospitality industry. Okay, great. But to go to a hotel, to go to a McDonald's, to go to sit down and eat anywhere, or to buy something at Walmart, you got to have a damn job to put the money in your pocket to buy the shit. Real talk. I know I'm not crazy, and I know that's true. Um, you know, um, and that being said, that leaves us two options. If we don't do something to bring people and factories and jobs into our country, what are we going to rely on? Who are we going to rely on to be able to buy food, toilet paper, and clothes and whatever, and get a car? We're going to be relied upon our government. I've seen a lot of crap that I thought I'd never see. I have always been independent. I've always researched the platforms on both sides. Yeah, I pretty much have kept my political views to myself because they're not supportive of either side, to keep it a band. But I feel like everything I've found on as I'm going to call it, the new Democratic Party scares the shit out of me. I feel like the World Economic Forum, the New World Order, all that crap is where it's heading. Personally, I don't like either party. Okay, to get into what I was talking about tariffs, I agree with you right here, J Rock. And then I'm not sure what you mean. J Rock, they don't like it when you say that one name that you keep putting, but it's okay because I'm showing it on my screen even though they've deleted you. I got you. Sure did. I believe that the Godstones were destroyed because it told a whole tale. There's a book that I have featured on here before and talked about that nobody, and it just lines it out. And I bet you one thing. I bet you one thing. Helene and Milton should have showed them that their idea for New World Order ain't gonna work. Why? And I don't even mean by the people saying something. There was no cell phone towers. There was no way for mass communication. We still have cell phone service that's very spotty and still not back to where it was. ATMs were down. Debit and credit card machines were down. I don't care if they take it from me, Mama Bear. I'm recording it and I'll put it right back up on Patreon. I'm telling y'all now, if YouTube strikes it, I'll put it down. I don't think the channel, we're going to do a reaction. I'll just have to stop. It's for educational purpose. I'm going to put the banner up. And I got it from a reaction channel. Hey, whatever you think, Mama. If it helps, go for it. I won't be mad at you. At all. At all. I give you permission on the middle of this live stream. So you got me. You do what you need to do, baby. Because I know they've taken these interviews down and I'm putting them out there. I just want to know. The interview from Fox with Kamala, what bothers me is that she can't answer a straight question. There is no yes or no answers given. It's just a pre-rehearsed statement. You can tell. That's a problem. You want to be the leader of our country, but you can't answer a straight question. I don't understand. I don't understand it at all. That part. Okay, I'm working on the share. Yeah, J Rock, let me tell you something. It's cold here. Last night, we were down to about 23 degrees. Not normal for this time of year here. Literally, when I used to work at Judges on the river, waiting tables, it would be, I don't want to tell fib. It would be the week before Halloween, before we shut the outdoor decks down. And that's, where the people wanted to sit the most. You know what I mean? So you are correct. I do believe 1,000,000% that that and maybe it's not the government going. Thank you, Mama Bear. I'm getting ready to start it now. So good deal. I'm doing a screen share and I'm going to pull up. You're going to see my watch history, and I don't really care. Um, the first interview. Making sure I get the right tab. I'm old, y'all. Bear with me. I can't find my glasses. Okay. This and both of these that I'm going to be showing, it's the channel name is the Cartier family. It's 4 young boys from college. They're actually really good young men, really intelligent, really smart. It's they got a large following and a large channel. If you don't follow them, please go. And they I want to show the petition they have too. So, okay, y'all can see it on your screen now. That's what I was checking. Okay. I'll mute myself when I start playing it, okay? Wow. Yeah, we had heat. Like during the day, it's reaching nearly 90 degrees and I'm running an air conditioner, and at night I'm having to pull out heaters and making sure my pipes don't freeze. Oh yeah, that's the one I'm about to show, J Rock. That interview. I can't highlight your comment right now, but it's showing. That's the one I'm about to show y'all some excerpts of. I want y'all to see their pinned comment and the link. Please go over there, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and tell them Nita's World sent you. The more people that do that, the less likely that they are to try to take down what I'm trying to get out there. And I don't think they will, because I really think these guys have their heart and mind in the right place. They want what's best for everybody. I watched their channel for a very long time. And the pinned comment, as you can see, that they have up says, help your fellow Americans by signing this petition to make America energy independent. So, yeah, Annette, we used to have snow every winter. Up here in the mountains, it would start getting cold around the first to second week of November. Now we don't have a spring, really. We don't have a fall. It just goes from summer to winter. I'm dead serious. Okay, so we'll scroll back down and make this bigger. I wish there was a way I could flip this. I don't know how. I'll just have to pause. This is I want y'all to see too their reaction. I think it's really cute, cool. These guys are close to the age of my kids. I want to see them succeed. You'll see I'm subscribed. I found that they're just a really great group of young men. Very intelligent. And while that's on the screen, I'm gonna highlight J Rock's comment, because I think if they see this, they'll definitely enjoy your comment, J Rock. I'm waiting on it to come up, but The title of their video is Kamala's team quits after she loses it in Fox interview. I'm not going to show you their whole 42-minute interview or thing. I'm going to show some excerpts and clips because I want you guys to go over there and check out this entire interview. But there's a couple parts that I want to pick up, a couple questions that the interviewer asked. So I'm just going to hit those and kind of, fast forward through. I'm going to mute myself and just know that I'm going to be skipping around in this video. I'm going to be stopping, pausing for commentary, and that I have to do that for YouTube purposes and because I want y'all to go over there and watch this whole video and the next video I'm going to show you. I want people to see how easily flustered and manipulated this candidate is and how hard that she tries to stay on the quote-unquote party line, and she just can't simply say yes or no to a question. And let me say to these four guys here, if y'all see this, if y'all hear about this, it's the official Cartier family. I'm proud of you. I'm very proud of you, young men. And I'm very thankful to see the generation coming up having analytical thinking skills, not being off on lean and all this other crap, and seeing through the bullcrap and the rhetoric that maybe even your parents weren't able to do because they didn't have access to unbiased, unfiltered media that you gentlemen do. And y'all do a lot of funny, cute videos too. But y'all do a lot of really important interviews. I saw y'all at the convention. And I think all four of y'all don't always agree on everything, and that's great. Oh, y'all about to see it. I'm playing it. This is the Kamala interview right here. If y'all didn't know, if y'all didn't understand it, this is what I'm about to show you. It's one of the only channels, and if you guys hear this, I want you to understand, I'm not trying to steal your work. I'm not trying to take your money away or nothing. Right now, it's being censored, and you are one of the only channels that still have this up and available to share out with the public, and I think that right now is the time we should all kind of stick together and get this out there. So guys, please, I'm going to show you how to do it right quick. Hit that thumbs up. Go over there and make a comment. Let them know Nina's World sent you. Let them know that whether you agree with these young men or not, you support their efforts. You support free thinking. You support having your own mind and your own opinion. I think that's the most important message to get out there, period. Okay, I'm muting and going to let them talk.
May I finish responding, please?
Either in the U.S. or in Security Secretary said that 85% of apprehensions.
I'm not finished. We have
it's a
an
rough estimate of 6 million people have been released into the country. And let me just finish. I'll get to the question. I promise you.
I was beginning to answer.
And when you came into office, your administration immediately reversed a number of Trump border policies. Most significantly, the policy that required illegal immigrants to be detained through deportation, either in the U.S. or in Mexico. And you switched that policy. They were released from custody awaiting trial. So instead, included in those were a large number of single men, adult men, who went on to commit heinous crimes. So, looking back, do you regret the decision to terminate Remain in Mexico at the beginning of your administration?
At the beginning of our administration, within practically hours of taking the...
Okay, sorry to pause so quick. Mama Bear, please do post the link. Let's see. Let me make sure you got a wrench. If not, I'll give you one real quick so you can. Okay, let me make sure, because without a wrench, she can't post it. And I don't have a mod in the chat. Mama Bear, give me a second to give you a wrench. Real quick, I wanted to say, notice how throughout this interview, every single question, she has a long-winded answer that doesn't answer anything. Is there a yes or no response? Is there an answer at all? No. No. And I don't it's frustrating. I'm sorry, Mom Bear, I'm trying. There you go. I got you. Oh, you do got a wrench. Okay, good deal. I couldn't tell. Restream, I can't tell. Anyway, she does not answer the question. Like, she talks for 5 minutes and says absolutely nothing, in my opinion. Tell me if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, please correct me. I'm open. We got 20 days to make up our mind. And let me say this, and this is important, and I hope these young men hear what I'm about to tell y'all. They're talking about what they're doing here in North Carolina so we can vote. That's a lie. That's a lie. I tried to register online within the time. It won't allow me. It keeps kicking me out. I'm a citizen and I'm not gonna be able to vote, y'all. They won't. They're trying to block me and say I'm not registered. I have my voter identification card, my registration card, showing where I'm supposed to vote. Only thing is, that place don't exist right now, thanks to Helene. So, and see, I'm registered as an independent. I am not registered as Democrat or Republican. I am in a predominantly red area, and I need to make sure that people hear what I'm saying. It's important. It's important. Mail-in does start today in North Carolina. You're right, Annette, but I can't without registered. If it's telling them that I'm not registered, I can't get a ballot. I can't mail in. I can't electronic vote. I can't go to a voting site and vote. And we have to, the way it works here, at least in my county, always, for 50 years, is if you go to vote, there's certain places you're allowed to vote at, like depending on your district and where you live. Those places don't exist for us right now. To go online and register, to go online and register, I have to give a code. I have to get the registration done. And then to get the ballot, I have to give a code that I got during the registration or that's on my card. I can't get a point to request the mail-in ballot because it keeps kicking me out. I have tried from different places, multiple different devices, and it's the same thing. Just like the FEMA recording that I played for y'all. Where, electronic error, click, hang up. Y'all know I played, that was live on the live stream. Say whatever they want. They can put whatever rhetoric they want to out there and propaganda. The reality is, y'all heard the phone call. I did it, played it live as it happened, as I called, as I had been dealing with for 5 days previous. My friend text messaged me this morning, by the way. The 750 that everybody can get, that's a lie too. I've got a screenshot, but I don't want to show her information and dox her or put her info out there. She works for the state in a very low-paying position, like dietary, like kind of like cafeteria lady. It's a job she similar does, to give y'all perspective. She's married. and has a child under the age of 3 in the household, was in an area that had to be evacuated in our county that was flooded, and she's been approved for 300. I suggest also, and I don't know if I can scroll it up where you can see it on the right hand right here, Candace Owens. I've never been a big supporter of her, never been a big watcher, but her series on the heritage and background of Kamala Harris is undeniably worth checking out. It's not a waste of your time. Whatever conclusion you come to. See, I don't want people to listen to what I feel and what I think. What I want you to do is go watch this yourself and come to your own conclusions and be informed and make your own decisions. I want to hear your thoughts, you know? J-Rock, that actually is a misnomer, and I will clear that up. The 750, let's see. Yes, it is a pattern. You're correct on that, J-Rock. They took that one down from you. I don't know why. The 750, you do not have to pay back. Anything else, it's when the inspector comes out. They're trying to make me get an inspection and I'm refusing. When the inspector comes out, they have paperwork you have to sign. In the fine print of that paperwork, it's a loan. It falls under SBA, Small Business Association. I don't know how they can do that on your home. I've even got the emails asking me to apply before the inspector comes out. That is money you have to pay back. Real talk though, the 750 is not a loan and does not have to be paid back. I promise. I've done my research. I've reread everything they ask you. You don't sign a contract. You don't do any electronic signature. You don't even show ID. You don't give your social security number. None of that information. So that's, and I hate that people are telling that because it's going to prevent some people from getting what they need. Some things I will say that are needed that we still can't get: dog food, baby formula, diapers, sleeping bags. There's a $20 sleeping bag. Yeah, Twister. That's what I'm telling people. 300. I know people, my neighbors, people in my area that are getting that same thing. Call the 1-800 number. Demand your 750. You will get it. I swear. People may not believe me. I went through days. It took me 6 days. Believe it or not, the best time to call was very, very early in the morning, like lines at 8 a.m. or on a Saturday. Oh, they are doing it, J-Rock. It's already happening, baby. I got proof. I've got screenshots from multiple people. But to share those with the public would be showing their ID number and application number with FEMA, and then somebody would be able to take that information and get their money, and I'm not going to do that. I just can't. I can't in good conscience do that. Speak at the polls, America, with your votes. I don't care how many times people tell you it doesn't matter. And yes, the Electoral College can overturn the popular vote. They absolutely can. But here's the thing. If enough of us stick together and raise our voices up, we can affect change. We don't have to docilely accept it because we're happy that somebody gave us some crumbs as a handout. We're stronger than that. We're smarter than that. And if we're not, we need to learn to be. That's one thing I've learned through everything I've been through since September 26th. I thank God for my grandparents and my parents and everything they taught me. I knew how to build a fire. I knew how to cut wood. I knew how to survive off grid without a cell phone, without a tablet, without Wi-Fi, without internet, without TV, without electricity. I knew how to flush a toilet with no water. As soon as they said they was going to cut the water off, I had 2 bathtubs full of water. I've seen if my washing machine would hold water. I had 17 gallons in every bottle and jug I could find in my house bottled up because I knew I could pour them in there and flush a toilet. When my daughter didn't have enough sense to do it, even though I told her, and had to drive up here and get water from me because they cut hers off and I was smart enough to have it. A lot of people wouldn't think about filling your bathtub up. If you ain't got no water, you're not going to be using it to wash your ass, are you? You might not want to drink it, but you surely can use it to flush a toilet, to wash some drawers out in a sink, and socks. I mean, sometimes you have to think outside the box. And look at our educational system. In the last 20 years, are they teaching us to be smarter or are they teaching us to be dumber? They let children have calculators in math class. Just think outside the box. Why would they want you to be less intelligent? Why would they want you to be focused on entertainment and entertainment news and the fun stuff 24/7 rather than important issues? Why would they want you to not understand what a tariff is and how it works? Why would they not want you to know what a trade embargo is and how it works and how it's going to affect your job and your child's jobs and your neighbor's jobs and your mama's job? Why? Why would they do that? Why is the party, and I can find the John Kerry speech if you guys haven't seen it, where he said the quiet parts out loud. I agree with you, TNT. Why is the party that's supposed to be the party of freedom, the liberal party, advocating and saying that free speech, that the platforms like the one we're on right now that give us the ability to say our personal thoughts and opinions, why is that party the party that's saying that the internet and free speech is a problem in governing? I'm not willing to give up my constitutional rights. I'm not willing to give up the Bill of Rights and the amendments. I'm not willing to do that. And then, honey, they're using them in elementary school in math class. I wasn't allowed to use a calculator in calculus class in high school, or trigonometry, or geometry, or algebra 1 or algebra 2. I wasn't, and surely not in my statistics class, and I hated statistics. I hate statistics. I'd rather take another year of freaking accounting classes than I would have one semester of statistics. How many times is it, if I roll the dice, how many times statistically is it going to land on 3? I don't care. That's guessing. That's supposition. That's probability. I want to know reality. That's the problem, I think. But anyway, back to this and let it play, and I'll have to stop and talk again, but not so long.
The oath. The first bill that we offered Congress
No
before
regrets then, I guess.
we worked on infrastructure, before the Inflation Reduction Act, before the CHIPS and Science Act, before the bipartisan Safer Communities Act, the first bill, practically within hours of taking the oath, was a bill to fix our immigration system.
Yes, ma'am. It was called the U.S. Citizenship Act of 2021.
Exactly.
It was essentially a pathway to citizenship for the elite. Yes, ma'am.
May I finish responding, please? But you have to let me finish,
You
please.
had the White House and the House and the Senate,
I'm
and they didn't bring up
I'm in
that
the
bill.
middle of responding to the point you're raising,
Okay.
and I'd like to finish.
Yes, ma'am.
We recognized from day one that, to the point of this being your first question, it is a priority for us as a nation and for the American people. And our focus has been on fixing a problem. And from day one, then, we have done a number of things, including to address our asylum system and put more resources, getting more judges, what we needed to do to tighten up penalties and increase penalties for illegal crossings, what we needed to do to deal with.
Notice also, I want to point out something that even these gentlemen didn't address. Why is everything that she's saying that they did, that they took action to do, that they wanted to do, whatever, all of it addresses after someone's already gotten across the border, after the illegal crossing has occurred? Why are we not addressing how they're getting here illegally? Why are we not strengthening the ability to stop from getting here? Real talk. That's my question. Rather than the judges to do this or do that, why are we not talking about stopping it? Why are we not talking about the people that's monitoring the border, even if they get across, turn them around and sending them right back because they're not doing it legally? They ain't got nobody chasing them. They ain't got no shots being fired. They're not. Why is that not what you're addressing? Because that's what the American people are asking. We're not asking about more judges to adjudicate it. Oh, and listen, they smash her with clips during this interview, and kudos. I used to hate Fox News. I'm not going to sit here and lie to nobody. I'm keeping it a band. Why? J-Rock, you got a lot of good stuff that you keep putting out. I'm not sure why, but you keep getting censored. So I have to keep highlighting your comments. And I really don't know why. But as Momo, you say, is one way to skin a cat. So I just highlight it and wait till it's on the screen before I do anything else. Oh, I agree with you, Twister. Buses. Listen, I'm going to say something too that I want a lot of people to hear what I got to say. You might not agree with me. You might not believe it's true. I've said something about this before. The county I live in, I want y'all to look up something I'm about to tell you. Breeden, Breeden, poultry plant, is now Case, CASE, Farms, FARMS. Okay? Within the past 4 years, same, Annette. Within the past 4 years, ICE has raided that factory so many times it's been all over my newspaper locally. That plant for my entire life has been there. It's a chicken plant. Catch and kill, however you want to say it, okay? And YouTube just got me for saying the KILL word, so we're already demonetized. Anyway, real talk. The immigration thing, I want to speak on it because I've lived it. What every other America, what Colorado and everybody's going through right now, My county, my town, we've been living it for 47, 50 years. I have watched van after van get pulled over, busload after busload get pulled over on I-40, all sitting lined up on the side of the hill. State troopers on the phone calling ICE, immigration, whoever it is they got to call, and being told we don't have the facilities, we don't have this, we don't have the people to come out. They give the van driver a ticket because they ain't got proper restraints and seatbelts. Maybe they even tow the van. But guess what happens? They walk away, or they get back in the van and keep going. Case Farms used to pay people to bring them in. It's real, and they still do it. Now it's Pacific Islanders. Don't believe me? I worked there. I worked my way up from the cutting line to where I inspected what's called combos and chicken breast, right before what they call the red hats, which is the in-house inspectors, before the feds who are there in the facility either pass it or fail it to send it out to somewhere else. Across, we were sending it up to China, we're sending it to Indonesia, and all over America. Tyson's the biggest competitor. Okay, I worked my way up to where on third shift, I made all the in-house labels for product as it went around and all the shipping labels. So I know where it was sending to because I put the shipping labels on it before they loaded them on the 18-wheelers and rolled it out. I made the labels. I created them. I printed them. So don't tell me I don't know where stuff was going and what was going on. I was in the main office where my office was. Now, here's what they do, because I sat and talked during my lunch break, especially recently, within the past 24 months, to Pacific Islanders that were being brought in. They send representatives out to their area, okay? And what they say to them is, we got jobs, we'll pay you X amount an hour, we'll provide you transportation and room and board. What they don't tell them until they're here is, we're putting you up in the no-tell Roach Motel, about 8 to 10 people in a room that's got 2 beds. And I don't want to call the name of the hotel, but it's just like it used to be a Days Inn, and now they won't play it, whatever. They charge them each, say 3, and I'm making the numbers up. I can't remember the exact specific, but they charge them each out of their paycheck, say $125 each for room and board, right? Then they charge them $10 a day each way to get back and forth to work, and their stipend or voucher for meals or whatever, that's also taken out of their paycheck. So that paycheck that they earned right along beside of me from that same company, making the same money an hour, instead of bringing home after taxes $300 and some, after insurance and whatever, instead of bringing that home after they take everything they're charging them out, they pay so much money for their transportation to get to the job before they get to the hotel. Once they take out their money they owe them for busing them here, and their weekly stipends and their rent and their transportation cost, that $350 paycheck per week after taxes, now they're getting about 160, 180 a week. And they're working 65, 70. We were working 6 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week. Third shift, when you work 6 days a week, okay, you go in on Sunday night and you get off, your last night of work is going to be Friday night, but you're getting off and leaving at like 9 o'clock on Saturday morning, and you got to be back Sunday night. You know what I mean? No, TNT, yes. Yes, it was a specific temporary employer when I was working there. Literally, they didn't even have one of the signs above the employment agency. By the way, it was in a little strip mall next door to the Salvation Army store, which is also next door to Case Farms plant. Anybody that don't believe me, come. I'll take you there. I'll show you. I'll show you. We can stand outside the gates. We can't get in. They're guarded by security guards. They have electronic fences that open and close to where the workers park. And the factory's located right next to the ABC store, which on the other side is a Dollar General and AutoZone and a Mighty Dollar. Plain and simple. Straight across is a locally owned Hamong um, grocery store. I promise you, this is something they've been doing forever. First, they were bringing migrants in from the Mexican border, Hispanic, specifically the Hispanic population. Then it was very specific, the Hmong and Guatemalan population. And this is what I was told by the persons that were employed there. This was what they told me their nationality was. By the way, please don't think they all have correct paperwork. When I went through my orientation, I worked with a guy, his name was Juan, when we were all, as they call it, white hats together, working together, right? So by the time I had finished my first 90 days on the cutting line, Juan was no longer there. Well, Carlos, who could have been Juan's twin brother, and when I asked him, wasn't you Juan when you was in orientation? Did the orientation tour right after I finished my 90 days and got off the cutting line and was on inspection. He was with the group coming around to look at our line, our production line, to see where he was going to be working when he finished going upstairs to fill out his paperwork. His name was Carlos. He laughed at me and he said, "See, I know you." And then to my ear, he whispered, "It's Juan." But he was Carlos according to the name tag on his hat and his shirt. Just saying. I guess he was Juan Carlos. But how do you come back to work somewhere that if you lose your job, if I lost my job, I had to wait 6 months to be able to even reapply. He had just been working on the cutting line, the production line next to mine, like 6 days before that. And he back in orientation under a different name. And that's not the only one. And I might get in trouble around here if people find out I told the truth. But it is the truth. I lived it. Yes, sir, they do. You're correct, Twister. Multiple persons. Maria was Anna. I mean, I could tell you several stories. I guarantee you I could go round up at least 10 people if I had a car within 15 minutes and be back here at my house and they could tell you the same stories I'm telling you. Remember, this is somewhere that's been the bread and butter of this county other than state jobs for 50 years of my life. The smell is horrendous, by the way, if you live here, especially during the summertime. Everybody's, how do you stand working inside of there? I couldn't work there. People didn't want to work there that lived here because of the smell outside. Inside, it smelled better than the hospital. Clorox and everything. Okay, let me mute back to this.
Points of entry between border entry points. That's the work we did, and we worked on supporting what was a bipartisan effort, including some of the most conservative members of the United States Congress, to actually strengthen the border. That border bill would have put 1,500 more border agents at the border, which is why I believe the Border Patrol agents supported the bill. It would have allowed us to stem the flow of fentanyl coming into the United States, which is a scourge affecting people of every background, every geographic location in our country, killing people. It would have allowed us to put more resources into prosecuting transnational criminal organizations, which I have done as the Attorney General, former Attorney General of a border state.
Madam Vice President, a couple of things.
Prosecuted trafficking of drugs, guns, and human beings. And Donald Trump, but let me just finish.
Six Democrats voted against that bill.
Learned about that bill and told them to kill it because he preferred to run on a problem.
Here's a thing and a question that I have also. Why is it every time they're asked something about their policy, in every interview that I've seen, whether it's the press secretary, whether it's Biden, whether it's Kamala, I have to hear Donald Trump did this and Donald Trump did that. What the hell have y'all done in the last 4 years? That's what we're talking about. What are your policies? What is your thoughts? What is your opinions? How do you feel? That's what we're asking. Okay, back.
Instead of fixing a problem. And in this election, this is rightly a discussion that the American people want to have. And what they want are solutions. And they want a president of the United States who's not playing political games with the issue, but actually is focused on fixing it.
6 Democrats voted against that bill. It would have allowed 1.8 million illegal immigrants into the country a year. A lot of conservatives had a problem with it. These are the 6 Democrats. But more importantly, back to the original premise. Jocelyn Nungari, Rachel Morin, Laken Riley, they are young women who were brutally assaulted and killed by some of the men who were released at the beginning of the administration, well before a negotiated bipartisan bill. Former President Clinton actually referred to Laken Riley Sunday, campaigning for you in Georgia, saying if those men had been properly vetted, Laken Riley probably would not have been killed. So if it wouldn't have happened, this is well before any negotiation. This is well before Donald Trump got involved in the politics. This is a specific policy decision by your administration to release these men into the country. So what I'm saying to you, do you owe those families an apology?
Let me just say, first of all, those are tragic cases. There's no question about that.
If you guys don't see or hear nothing else in this interview, I want you to hear what the mother of one of these young women that lost their lives has to say. And I want you to see and hear her response, because it pissed me off. And it's why I'm up here, honestly. Here we go.
Riley.
There's no question about that. And I can't imagine the pain.
Oh, Nat, I can tell you about the October surprise. It has to do with Touchdown Timmy, allegedly. Allegedly, him, his wife, and another person were all terminated or allowed to resign from the school at the same time, according to the school board. Squirrel Tribe, she's got that info out. Also, and I got something from X I'm going to show y'all that has to do with Helene too. The Wall Street Apes. Don't know if y'all know who they are, but I'm going to show y'all that too. Don't worry. Anyway, allegedly, there was an inappropriate relationship for over 4 years, starting when somebody was 14, and the 14-year-old is coming out. I wish they'd go ahead and do it, but it is whatever it is. I can't, Wiley. I can't, J-Rock. That was too much right there. I'm sorry. I'm going to mute and go back to the interview.
Pain that the families of those victims have experienced for a loss that should not have occurred. So that is true. It is also true that if a border security had actually been passed 9 months ago, it would be 9 months that we would have had more border agents at the border, more support for the folks who are working around the clock trying to hold it all together to ensure that no future.
But what did you do? What did you do as vice president? And what would you do differently? Shit. Answer a question. She don't answer a question. She repeats the policy. She repeats the byline of everybody. Do you have an independent thought? That's my question. Do you have an independent thought of your own?
future harm would occur. And this election in 20 days will determine whether we have a president of the United States who actually cares more about fixing a problem, even if it is not to their political advantage in an election, because there was a solution, Brett.
Madam Vice President, it was a policy decision in the early part of your administration. I will let one of the mothers talk about it. Take a listen.
Because of the Biden-Harris administration open border policies catch and release, they were enrolled in the Alternatives to Detention program. This meant that they were released into the United States.
J-Rock, no, it was not a foreign exchange student. And if you listen right here, you're actually going to hear what the mother is saying of the murdered student. I don't care if YouTube takes me down. I ain't saying unaliving. I'm saying the truth.
It was not even a full 3 weeks later that they would take my daughter, Jocelyn Nungare's life. I believe the Biden-Harris administration open border policies are responsible for the death of my daughter.
That's the early days. So do you owe them an apology? Is what
I
I'm
will
saying.
tell you that I am so sorry for her loss.
She's not know.
I'm so sorry for her loss. Sincerely.
Something I want to point out, and I'm going to rewind a little bit, let y'all hear. Anybody with body language experts will tell you when you're making a positive statement and you're shaking your head no, that means your real answer is no. Hold on. God. Ugh. Ugh. I don't know this car. Nina, are you expecting company? God. Okay, y'all. I gotta pause. I don't know who's at my house. I hope nobody's trying to really take me down. Hello. Sorry, you guys. Can anybody hear me? Is anybody still here? My neighbor showed up. Oh, y'all, bless Jesus. They have chickens and they have an abundance of eggs and we can't find any in the store. And I just gave her a carton and she gonna get me some eggs and bring me a dozen up here. And I offered to pay her and she said, I will not. It's been a blessing, like neighbor helping neighbor. I'm gonna get back to this and get out. Apologize for the wait. I couldn't just leave it playing because I would have got struck for that. So I'm gonna mute and go back to the video. I want y'all to see this. And for fairness sake, we are going to do compare and contrast. Just know that. I'm going to show the other candidate and an interview from the same time period with similar questions.
That was a great example.
But let's talk about what is happening right now with an individual who does not want to participate in solutions. Let's talk about that as well. But in all fairness, I told you, I feel awful for.
I asked this, and I'm sorry to interrupt again so quick after just coming back on, but why does every question that Kamala gets asked, let's talk about an individual does this? You know what, Kamala, you're not going to win the election and the minds and the hearts of the American people by talking about somebody else who if you have your way, he's not going to be a part of the office or politics. Talk about yourself. We don't want to hear the bull crap and the propaganda and the maligning of another person. That doesn't make us look at you better. We want to hear in your own words, in your own thoughts, what you feel and what you think and what you see as a vision for your presidency and this country. That's what we American citizens want. We don't want to hear you say somebody, I'm the victim, I'm this, I'm that, I couldn't do this, I couldn't do that. You've had 4 years until Joe Biden got sent to the left to eat pudding and Jell-O at the nursing home where he probably needs to be, and no disrespect meant. We didn't see your face or doing crap, and we didn't hear from you. We don't know you. God forbid, for whatever reason, we know who Trump is. We know what he wants and what he's about. Yes, we know. I'm so tired of seeing the stupid ass commercials. I'm so tired of hearing that Trump wakes up and thinks about himself and what he can do for himself. Tell me, when you wake up in the morning, everybody, anybody that watches this, whether it's in the live stream comments or whether it's in the comments under the video on the replay, please tell me. Hold on, my neighbor's back with the eggs, y'all. Sorry. I'm going to let this play till I get back.
For what she and her family have experienced.
During that time, you said repeatedly that the border was secure. When in your mind did it start becoming a crisis?
Wow.
I think we've had a broken immigration system transcending, by the way, Donald Trump's administration even before. Let's all be honest about that. I have no pride in saying that this is a perfect immigration system. I've been clear, I think we all are, that it needs to be fixed. We need more. I was just down at the border talking with border agents, and they will tell you, and I'm sure you probably, I know you investigate and you are a serious journalist, they will tell you, we need more judges. We need to process those cases faster. We need the support for those cases that should be processed.
I need your help, and here's why. I'm on a mission to recover $10 million within the next 12 months to American patients.
Prosecuted. They need more resources, and Congress ultimately is the only place that that's going to get fixed, Brett.
Well,
that's how the system works.
That's the premise of this question. There were 90-plus executive orders that were rescinded in the first days. Many of those were Trump.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry, she brought the eggs. I had to take a moment. So, here's what I wanted to say that I was saying before. That stupid commercial of thinking about yourself every day. Do y'all, real talk, when you first wake up in the morning, or can anybody say that any thoughts are of thinking about yourself? Because my first thought is I got to pee. Well, that's thinking about myself. My second thought is I'd like a cup of coffee or something to drink so I can take my medicine. Again, that's thinking about myself. That is the stupidest commercial. Fire whoever made that and advise you. Whoever your PR campaign is, Kamala, send them away. Send them away. Because they suck, in my personal opinion. And I'm just going to keep it a band. I'm frustrated. I'm irritated. I'm tired. I'm here. I'm tired of hearing everybody all around me. Fake news. This is lies. This ain't happening. It is happening. We're here. Our government's trying to lie to you and trying to suppress what's really going on in these states. I don't know what the reasons are. I have no idea. I don't purport to know. And at this point, I don't care. What I do know is people are dying. But the number of missing, unaccounted for, and people that have lost their lives from these hurricanes are greatly underreported on purpose. When you've got 2 foot to 8 feet of silt and mud still in a house, still in a vehicle up to its damn windows, in the same waters that covered 18-wheelers, U-Hauls, and ambulances, you can't tell me you haven't been in that house, you ain't got to it. How do you know them people got out? How do you know they're not in that mud? Let's keep it a band. No, your plan is to bulldoze the shit and start building again. We want our people identified. Now, I'm going to keep it real, and I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm 28 minutes down the mountain from Asheville. I can smell it now when the wind blows the right way. If you don't know, come and see. What people don't understand is to really identify our families and friends could take years. Years. Why? You know how many graveyards were disrupted by this flood? How many caskets and family members that we buried 5 minutes ago, 5 days ago, 5 weeks ago, 5 years ago, 50 years ago are mixed in with the people that were unalived during Helene and Milton? Floating together? More than you want to believe. How do you separate it? How do they figure it out? Everybody don't have dental records. You're not in an area that's a big city. Even with Medicaid, I got to go 2 counties away to get a dentist. It is a 1-year waiting list to get an appointment. It took me 5 months to get a doctor's appointment. Let's keep it real. Stop lying. Back to the video.
Trump border policies. I'm not going to stay here because there's other things to talk about, but you frequently talk to the Border Patrol Union for support of that bipartisan bill, and they did. They supported it. But they also just endorsed Donald Trump and said, you've been, quote, a failure with border security. Wow. Why do you think they said that?
I think they're frustrated, and I get it. They want support. They want support, and that's what that border security bill would have done. These guys down at the border, these men and women, they're working hard. They're working around the clock. I get it.
There's a lot of people that look back at what you said in 2019 when you first ran for president, and there have been changes, and you've talked about some of them. When it comes to immigration, you supported allowing immigrants in the country illegally to apply for a driver's license, to qualify for free tuition at universities, to be enrolled.
Okay, after this question, I'm skipping forward in this interview for time constraints, and I want y'all to go watch all of it. But what they're about to ask her about her policy and about her VP candidate's policy is important for you guys to hear. Please, please believe what they tell us. Believe their track record. I had someone on TikTok malign me for the video I posted to the press secretary. Come to find out it was a bot, and saying it was false and fake news. So me showing you a video side by side of her past words and present words, how is that fake news? Yeah, exactly. And then I agree. Same. Amen. But you know what? Everybody in the U.S. is just in the last 4 years dealing with that, with nobody speaking English to them. I've been dealing with it for years. I graduated high school in 1990. We had English as a second language in 90 in our school. Why? Because we were having 2,000 on the average every 6 months buzzed in to work at the factory. And when the people that owned it own out the town, what you gonna do?
And free healthcare. Do you still support those things?
Listen, that was 5 years ago,
Yes or no?
and I'm very clear that I will follow the law. I make that
Yes or
statement
no?
over and over again, and as Vice President of the United States, that's exactly what I've done, not to mention before.
To say no.
If that's the case,
She doesn't answer yes or no. I will follow the law. That's her response to everything. Of course you're going to follow the law. You're in an office. Your office. Let me explain. You have to follow the law. Yeah, I get it. J-Rock, you're correct. It is. You're right. I'm highlighting it because that's true. And we've shown that. It's the resilience. It's the fact that you can take everything from us. You can take power. You can take the water. You can take the internet. You can take the phone away. You can take every single thing from us. And we still survived. Not only survived, but thrived. I watched a 62-year-old man on TikTok that just got rescued 3 days ago tell people how to make a washing machine. And he said, I might not have clean clothes and everything, but I got clean drawers and socks. Why? He said he told him how to take a hand mixer or a stand mixer, plug it to a generator, how to rig a car battery to make a generator to be able to run it, and other items one at a time, and wash your clothes. Anybody ever think of taking a cement mixer and use it as a washing machine? Anybody ever think of taking a cake mixer and use it as a washing machine? Makes sense though, don't it? It's got that same action a washing machine uses. We didn't need them. I grew up in the hills here. My grandma, one of them had a fireplace they cooked and heated with. The other had a wood stove. I know how to split wood, cut wood. I know how to get kindling and start a fire and how to keep one going. The entire time, 6 days and 5 nights, I had a fire going. I didn't have a fireplace. I didn't have a fire pit, but I had a gravel driveway. I had a carport that gave me some shelter in case it rained again so it wouldn't put my fire out. And I had an oven rack, and I had some paving stones. I figured it out. By crackies, I had a cup of coffee every day. Hot too. And somebody told me, you want to use some charcoal and lighter fluid? Let me tell you something. That charcoal didn't get hot enough to boil my pot of water. But that gum wood did. Only problem was that it was green and wet. So by the time it was burning good, it was burnt up. It's okay. My neighbor had a whole shed full of big old firewood he'd split. And let me tell you something. Please don't think that if you have another nationality that I care. My next door neighbors, they're two of the best neighbors that I ever had in my life. They are Hispanic, but they came here the right way. They came here legally. And they are wonderful neighbors. They are the best neighbors I ever had. They had a generator and they run me a drop cord so I could charge my cell phone and my laptop so I could use it as a charger for my flashlight and my other devices. They gave me wood to cook with. Real talk. It's not about where you're from. It's not about the color of your skin. It's not about who your ancestors are. It's about the fact that our government is not taking care of the people that are already here. We can't afford for you to bring in billions of other people and take care of them when we're sitting here doing without. That's stupid. That would be like me telling 15 people to come up in this house and I'm going to feed them while I'm starving. Now, don't get it twisted. If I got a loaf of bread, my neighbor's going to get a slice too. But I'm going to get a slice first. It's not about being greedy or not sharing or whatever. The very ones that's trying to do this is sitting on billions and millions in their bank account and wouldn't give you a damn dollar to be able to eat a meal if you hadn't ate for 6 months. They would pour you a drink of water. That's the problem. And preaching to us about what we need to do. Kiss my grits. I'm already ready to play grit ball today. Don't play with me. Stupid bitch thinks she's going to put her hands on somebody and then come back up in my house like everything's all right. You about to find out today you got the wrong one. I'm tired. I'm tired. Ain't no playing GA. Real talk. If you don't know the song, you better look it up because I'm in GA and not Georgia. I'm in Glen Alpine. We don't play here either. I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired of being lied to. I'm tired of being treated. Like I said, I'm not a mushroom. You're not going to keep me in the dark and feed me full of shit. It's not how we grow.
Case, you chose a running mate, Tim Walz, governor of Minnesota, who signed those very things into state.
Wow.
So do you support that?
Wow. Great question.
We are very clear, and I'm very clear, as is Tim Walz, that we must support and enforce federal law, and that is exactly what we will do.
So decriminalize.
And I'm sorry to interrupt again, but there's something I noticed while watching this interview, and that is, I've noticed, sorry y'all, every time that she starts spilling that pre-recorded, pre-memorized propaganda BS, watch her hands. Watch the hand movements. Watch the hand movements. Same thing with the forget the past move. I've noticed that we realized that was a Karl Marx manifesto statement, that we ain't heard it. But we heard it in 27 previous interviews. What's up with that, Kamala?
Border crossings, like you said in 2019.
I do not believe in decriminalizing border crossings, and I've not done that as vice president. I will not do that as president.
So these are evolutions that you've had.
But let's be very.
Get his ass. Get the mosquito real quick.
That's it.
No, it's not. Get his ass.
Gotta get him.
He did.
Oh.
He did.
Because they say Gavin Newsom is next up, and Gavin. Trump.
I'm gonna follow the law.
Trump would have told you. Trump would have said no.
I spent the majority of my career in Washington, D.C. I invite ideas, whether it be from the Republicans who are supporting me, who were just on stage with me minutes ago, and the business sector, and others who can contribute to the decisions that I make about, for example, my plan for increasing the supply of housing in America and bringing down the cost of housing, addressing the issue of small businesses, which is about working with the private sector to bring more capital and access to capital to our small business leaders, including my plan for a $25,000.
By the way, that thing of the small capital and the small business owners, every time she's asked a question, that's what she goes back to. And we tired of hearing you repeat the same thing during every single interview you do. Have an original thought. Not what propaganda tells you to say, but an original thought. No, I agree, Amanda. I agree with you. And that's what's upsetting me. It's all about being divisive because if we, like I said earlier, if we can't agree, as long as we're infighting with each other, they're winning. If we can unite in one voice together and I'll let them know we're tired of their bullshit and that we're not going to take it anymore, you would be surprised at the change that we could affect. And I have to continue to believe that because if I don't, what's there to fight for? What's there to fight for? You can't sit here and tell me that between nearly over 600 billion that's been allocated over the last 4 years to the migrant crisis and the over 2 billion that's been given to Ukraine and another billion or so given to Israel, you can't sit here and tell me that taking that money out of this country has not cost us more to buy a gallon of milk, a loaf of bread, and a thing of eggs. You can't tell me that that didn't play a part in higher interest rates. I'm not a fool. You can't tell me. It's got to come from somewhere. You can't tell me that didn't cause me to have to pay more taxes, you to have to pay more taxes. You're at the cash register at Jackson Hewitt, H&R Block, wherever you get your taxes done. You can't tell me that. She's looking at him like, I can't believe that you have the balls to ask me these questions on TV. I can't believe that you're not playing the part. 60 Minutes edited her interview. It came out. It came out that during the debate and other televised interviews that I'm trying to think of the word they used. They didn't give her the actual questions, but they gave them a roundabout idea what the questions would be, and were told basically what they couldn't ask. Where is that a democracy? Where is that a free society? If you are somebody that should be in control of this country and able to push the button and make all the decisions, then I need to know that you have enough sense to answer a question without parroting what you done read is the answer. They sure did in that. And I agree, J-Rock. Straight up, I've already said it in previous broadcasts. Where are the countries for the whole 50-some years of my life we've been funneling money to? We've been putting our troops to. We've been giving our sons and daughters lives to. Where are those countries while we're sitting here hurting, not knowing where our jobs are going to be, not knowing where our family is, not having a foundation to a house left? Where is Israel? Where's Ukraine? Where's Saudi Arabia? Where's Iraq and Iran? Where are they at? And don't tell me, because my family was over there fighting. I've got family members that died over there. Where are they at now? They didn't offer one person or $1. They didn't say, no, don't give us money. And one thing that really bothers me is when she starts talking about, he's asking what they did to help America, and her answer is about Israel. I don't understand that. Like, does Israel have blackmail on our country? Why do we have to fund their war? Maybe we should be talking to BlackRock. Maybe we should be talking to Vanguard. And I cannot think of the other one right now. Oh, it's always, there's a third one. And I never can remember their name. Who really is in charge here? Because listen, I mean no disrespect, but it's scary as hell to think that Joe Biden is not fit to run for re-election, but he's still in charge of the country. Can somebody explain that to me, please? And I don't want to hear no bullshit rhetoric. I want some real common sense, down to earth answers. Don't talk to me like you're a Harvard professor. Talk to me like Kamala, that you're that McDonald's worker you claim to be. I'm calling out all bullshit. I'm tired. Call it a rebrand. I don't care what you call it. It's my opinion, and I'm not holding it back anymore. I'm tired. I'm very tired. I'm hurt and I'm upset. I've seen so many videos of people saying, it was sundown towns that got destroyed, and I'm thankful for it. If you feel that way, then why aren't you praying for your brothers and sisters that lost their kids and their family and their lives? It's just another way to allow the powers that be to separate us and focus on something that doesn't matter today. It matters, but it doesn't matter as far as being able to put food on your table and have a roof over your head. Please take it that way and understand what I'm saying. We're allowing them to focus us on issues that are divisive rather than coming together and making them focus on issues to unite us, issues to make our country better, issues to help our future generation. I want my grandson, who is a mixed child, to not be picked on, to not have a problem, to not feel ostracized and different. And I say that because I have a friend whose 10-year-old daughter hung herself recently in her bedroom closet because she was being bullied at school. That should matter more than what's going on anywhere else. But that's not on national news. Why was she bullied? Because her mama's white and her daddy's black. I'll keep it a band. I got to stop for a minute. I'm going to let this play, y'all. Sorry.
Down payment assistance for first-time homebuyers and for small businesses, extending the tax deduction from $5,000 to $50,000.
We've heard a lot about those plans in recent days. Your campaign slogan is a new way forward, and it's time to turn the page. You've been vice president for 3.5 years, so what are you turning the page from?
Well, first of all, turning the page from the last decade in which we've been burdened with the kind of rhetoric coming from Donald Trump that has been designed and implemented to divide our country and have Americans literally point fingers at each other. Really? Rhetoric and an approach to leadership that suggests that the strength of a leader is based on who you beat down instead of what we all know. The strength of leadership is based on who you lift up. The strength of an American president, which is one who understands that the vast majority of us have more in common than what separates us. That is turning the page.
70% of people
that is about turning the page on rhetoric that people are frankly exhausted of, Brett.
More than
People are
70% of people
exhausted.
tell the country is on the wrong track. They say the country is on the wrong track. If it's on the wrong track, that track follows 3.5 years of you being vice president and President Biden being president. That is what they're saying, 79% of them. Why are they saying that? If you're turning the page, you've been in office for 3.5 years.
And Donald Trump has been running for office.
But you've been the person holding the office.
This is crazy. How you still blaming on Trump? You're in office. That's what be making me hot. Like, what the hell?
She's the worst.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm so grateful and thankful for Fox News for giving us this interview.
We gotta thank Kamala. She went on. She actually did it. She actually did it.
This is why they say, watching this is making me realize why they came up with the slogan going from Joe Biden to Kamala Harris is like shitting your pants and changing your shirt. Because she can't tell you what she's going to do different. All she can tell you is that I'm a different person. I got new ideas.
For saying that, and then she went back all the way 14 years ago. When they skipped the GOP. And then let's change agenda in jail. Man, come on, man. What is we standing for, man?
This is why 80% of Capone.
It's true. We have to think of it. It's called weaponization of government. It's a terrible thing.
So,
Brett, I'm sorry, and with all due respect,
could be the 47th president of the United States. Why is that happening? Ooh.
this is an election for president of the United States. It's not supposed to be easy.
I know, but
it's not supposed to be. It is not supposed to be a cakewalk for anyone.
So are they misguided, the 50%?
Listen,
are they stupid? What is
God,
it?
I would never say that about the American people. And in fact, if you listen to Donald Trump, if you watch any of his rallies, he's the one who tends to demean and belittle and diminish the American people. He's the one who talks about an enemy within, an enemy within, talking about the American people, suggesting he would turn the American military on the American people.
We asked that question to the
Dang it, man.
today. Harris Faulkner had a town hall, and this is how he responded.
Wrap this up, man.
I heard about that. They were saying I was like threatening. I'm not threatening anybody. They're the ones doing the threatening. They do phony investigations. I've been investigated more than Alphonse Capone. He was the greatest guy.
Okay, I gotta admit and own it, that was kind of funny. I don't know if y'all know. So he's saying he's been investigated more than the gangster Al Capone. And I ain't done the math, I ain't done the research, so I can't say one way or the other. Probably is running a close second. And let me say this, I'm not telling y'all that I love, like, or nothing else. Not taking a side. I agree with you. I agree, J-Rock. I do, and I think that's the one of the messages that I'm trying to get out here today, and I want to make sure that's highlighted. Well, hopefully, then you'll get to see this. Net. I've got another one that I really want to show you where he's talking about tariffs and explaining some stuff that is different than what we've always been told. And I have a post on X that I want to show before I end this. I gotta pee, but I'm gonna go while I'm using the ladies' room. I'm going to let this play real quick.
He said Al Capone.
It's true. We have to think of it. It's called weaponization of government. It's a terrible thing.
So,
Brett, I'm sorry, and with all due respect, that clip was not what he has been saying about the enemy within that he has repeated when he's speaking about the American people. That's not what you just showed.
He was asked
no,
about that
no,
specific...
that's not what you just showed. In all fairness and respect to
you, that
you,
was the question that we asked him.
You didn't show that, and here's the bottom line. He has repeated it many times, and you and I both know that. And you and I both know that he has talked about turning the American military on the American people. He has talked about going after people who are engaged in peaceful protest. He has talked about locking people up because they disagree with him. This is a democracy. And in a democracy, the President of the United States, in the United States of America, should be willing to be able to handle criticism without saying he'd lock people up for doing it. And this is what is at stake, which is why you have someone like the former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff saying what Mark Milley has said about Donald Trump being a threat to the United States of America.
He's quoted in the Bob Woodward book that way, yes. Let me ask you this, Madam Vice President. You call Donald Trump, you call Donald Trump, he's misguided. You say now he's unstable.
He is unstable, Brett.
He's not well. You say he's mentally not stable.
He's not stable.
Let me ask you this. You told many interviewers that Joe Biden was on his game, that ran around circles on his staff. When did you first notice that President Biden's mental faculties appeared diminished?
Great question.
Please, you guys, pay attention to the answer to this question right here. And we're getting to the end of what I'm going to watch. Please go over. And I'm going to scroll up again so you guys can see the channel. Cartier family, please, please, please go subscribe and give a thumbs up to this channel. The next video I'm going to show y'all was from them, and I think it's been taken down as well. And if they hadn't done a reaction, I wouldn't have access to show these to you guys. I want y'all to hear how she responds, or the lack thereof response to this question.
Joe Biden, I have watched from the Oval Office to the Situation Room, and he has the judgment and the experience to do exactly what he has done in making very important decisions on behalf of the American people.
There were no concerns raised?
Joe Biden is not on the ballot.
I understand.
And Donald Trump
but
is.
You talked about it.
And Donald Trump
after George Clooney said within a few minutes of talking to President Biden.
Let me say this. What she's not getting is the reason you're being asked that question goes to your integrity and your ability to have discernment and intelligence. If you couldn't tell that his mental faculties were failing and that he needed to step aside, then you shouldn't be in the secondary position, and you damn sure shouldn't be in the primary position. We need somebody who is able to recognize that somebody is no longer capable of doing something, which is not saying that he's a bad person, not saying and making fun of him. Anybody at that age can be afflicted. Trump can be afflicted tomorrow. He's at that age. It doesn't matter on that. We want to know about you. You're telling us about everybody else. You're telling us about your opposing candidate. You're telling us about this person and that person. But nothing you're telling us tells me about you. You come across as Debbie Doormat, hollowhead. Somebody got to breathe into your ear what to come out your mouth. That's how it comes across. All of us are not ignorant, uneducated country hicks like you seem to think. And scare tactics are not working anymore because we have ways to communicate with each other and tell the truth, not the truth that you want to put out there in the media and the airwaves. By the way, did anybody ever wonder why mainstream media, ABC, NBC, and MSNBC and all that, now has to toe a party line? Well, let me educate a little bit in my opinion, okay, with 37 different accents. Amen, J-Rock. But let me put a little thought. Piers Morgan now. What national media thing is he attributed to? So many different major correspondents and like anchor persons for nightly news broadcasts in larger districts and smaller and even mass media stations are now doing YouTube and Patreon and Kick and all the other ones. Why? Here's the question. Why? You want me to tell you why? Because those sponsorship dollars are now going to those channels that independently report the truth. So these major news channels that are owned all by the same people need to get funding. They got to pay their workers. They got to pay that anchor person. They got to pay that weatherman. They got to pay that reporter. How do they do that? They're not getting the views they used to because we're not watching them. We're on YouTube watching what's really going on. We're sitting here listening to each other instead of them. So by becoming propaganda machines and putting the rhetoric out there and telling us what the government wants them to say, and only that, let's not forget, there's still a reporter that reported on the Pelosi incident where her husband was attacked that is still not been heard of on any social media site because he told that her husband answered the door while his attacker was still in there. I'll do another live stream and show y'all that, but I digress. They got to get the money somewhere. They were making millions and billions of dollars a year when we had the TV that only had 3 or 4 channels. So at 6 o'clock or from 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock and from 10 o'clock to midnight, that's what you watched when I was younger and growing up. Even when my kids were first around, we had cable, but you were lucky to have 20, 30 channels. Now we got thousands of channels and unlimited YouTube, Patreon, Kick, Rumble, all that channels. And you can watch what you like and go to where you identify. And hear the truth, not what they tell them to say. And I think that's why the major media channels have turned into government propaganda channels, because they've got to get the money somewhere or they're going to go belly up. You can't lose your major sponsor. Wonder if the nightly news broadcast on NBC is going to be sponsored by Johnson & Johnson baby oil. Get your GHB here. Sorry, I couldn't help it, y'all. I'm tired of being funny. If y'all know what I'm referring to, it's the Puff Daddy. And do I think he's done the crap that they're saying? Absolutely. Absolutely. Do I think that just like the epi person that I can't say his whole name on here, the government knew about it for a long time and used it to their benefit? Absolutely. Amazing how many people you can control when you got a video or an audio that can ruin their entire career, ain't it? Keep it a band. Somebody said that Johnson & Johnson ain't going to be able to sell no baby oil for a century. They didn't put it in there. But you didn't get enough GHB to put in 1,000 bottles of baby oil from the local dealer there in Miami either, now did you? Let's keep it a band. But the government won't bust the dude on the corner that's selling the 20 sack of Mary Jane, right? But you can't find out that this person's flying in enough of that to mix in 1,000 bottles of baby oil. And please believe there's something in it. Why would the government, why would Homeland Security raid and take 1,000 bottles of baby oil if they want something there? They took it to test it. Come on now. But all that, between that and the Young Thug trial and everything else, ain't that a perfect entertainment distraction during election time? I'm just saying. I'm putting all possibilities on the table. I don't put anything past our government. Straight up. We use corn, I think it's like cornstarch or corn. It's not the kind that, it came from a box. It didn't come from the baby powder thing. I'm just telling you. A lot of times, and also let me tell you something. What else was lost? We lost all our crops. Every bit of my ability to do my canning, to sustain me and help me not be dependent upon the grocery store that I don't have a ride to, is gone. It's gone. Understand that. I lost my tomatoes. I lost my muscadines. I lost my corn. I lost my cabbage. I lost my lavender. All that's gone. And mine's on a minimal scale. I'm thanking God that my neighbors on both sides got chickens, because I'll have eggs, real eggs, not that shit that's been under a light and filtered and whatever. And just like that milk that's out there, it's triple pasteurized. It's $4 for 20 ounces now. That's the worst tasting milk ever. You get some real milk out of a cow or a goat, and you won't know what you're doing. You can make butter out of it and everything else for real. I still got a butter churn, and I know how to use it. My grandma taught me. I can bake cakes. I can bake pies. I can do it from scratch. I don't need a Betty Crocker mix. I can make cornbread, y'all. Hold on to your knickers right here. I can make cornbread without a Jiffy mix. Did you hear that? And that shit is good. I don't make that white, dry, crumbly cornbread either. You better not come here. My daughter hates it. She's mad at me every time I make cornbread because she likes that white, crumbly, dry crap, and I can't eat it. She's like, Mama, your cornbread tastes more like a cake. Well, that's what I like. You gonna eat it? Hey, J-Rock, I'm with you. Ain't nothing else in the world like it. All right, I'm gonna mute and let this play real
Biden at a fundraiser that he thought this was not the Joe Biden that we saw on the debate stage.
Donald Trump is on the ballot.
I understand. You met with him at least once a week for 3.5 years. You didn't have any concerns?
I think the American people have a concern about Donald Trump, which is why the people who know him best, including leaders of our national security community, have all spoken out. Even people who worked for him in the Oval Office, worked with him in the Situation Room, and have said he is unfit and dangerous and should never be president of the United States again, including his former vice president, which is why the job was open for him to choose another running mate. So that is a fact. That is a fact.
Madam Vice President, two more things. You were asked on 60 Minutes about the biggest threat that the world faces, that the U.S. faces. This is what you said.
Which foreign country do you consider to be our greatest adversary?
I think there's an obvious one in mind, which is Iran. Iran has American blood on their hands. Okay, this attack on Israel, 200 ballistic missiles.
This is the part I was talking about that I don't understand. And if somebody can explain it to me, and maybe people like me, to where it makes sense, please help me understand. In her answer to the greatest threat against the American public right now, she says Iran, because of the missiles they're shooting at Israel. Is that on is either of those on American soil? Please explain to me how that is a threat to us. Is Israel our government? I'm confused. I'm not understanding this answer, and I'm not understanding how. Is it because they'll need more money and we'll be poorer? I don't understand. Please allow me to understand. Amen, Annette. I can milk a cow and churn butter right along with you, baby. And guess what? A lot of people may think this sounds dumb as hell, but I raised my kids that way too. My children were limited in video game and TV time. They didn't like it. They didn't like it. But you know what? For the second time since my adult child has had a child, she's called me and told me she's sorry and thanked me. Real talk. Why? The first time, Mama, I'm sorry. I did things as a child that I didn't understand. I'm sorry that I talked crap about supper being on the table. I didn't understand why me and my brother had a pork chop and peas and macaroni and cheese and corn and a biscuit, and you was over there eating macaroni and cheese or oodles and noodles and no pork chop. I didn't dawn on me, and I said, you wasn't supposed to understand. You're a child. Your job was to be a child. My job was to understand and to make sure you didn't go without first. I fed them first, then me. A lot of people don't get that nowadays. That's the problem. That's where the base problem starts. And then the most recent time was when she dealt with her child acting up. Take this how you will. Think I was a drill sergeant, a mean person, whatever. I was a single parent. I was mama and daddy. I had 2 kids, a son and a daughter. We went out in public. My children were the best behaved children you ever saw. And just like I tell my grandchild, and my daughter can tell you, I tell him in front of her with her blessing. I don't overstep that. I tell him, if you gonna show your ass, and I don't say ass, I say buttocks to him, and he thinks buttocks is a funny word. But if you gonna show out, you better show out at Nini's house or at Mama's house. You don't show out at Walmart. You don't show out at Food Line. You don't show out at school. You do it at home. Because if you do it at school, you're going to get punished doubly. And no, I didn't beat my kids. I don't believe in that. I didn't do the little timeout crap most of the time either. I'm just going to tell you. I took TVs. I took cell phones. I took video game systems. I took going to spend the night at your friend's house or having them spend the night or getting that chocolate cake. Those things are what you lost. You needed to earn those extras. Certain things are given to you and you deserve and you earn. And as a parent, that's what I'm supposed to provide. But those extras, you didn't get that toy. You didn't get that Barbie doll. You didn't get that truck. It wasn't your birthday. It wasn't Christmas. You didn't get that. on payday. If you showed out during school during the week, your ass was watching your brother or your sister get and you didn't get. And the reason you didn't get is because you didn't do what you were supposed to do to earn it. Period. You didn't clean your room, you didn't get it. And it wasn't, don't get it twisted. They didn't have to clean the house. They didn't have to wash the dishes. They wasn't cooking the supper. They wasn't working the farm. I'm talking about picking the clothes up out the floor and putting them in a laundry basket, making your bed, taking a towel and dusting down, bringing any, if you took a dish in your room and didn't bring it out, you didn't get to eat in your room for 2 weeks. Simple shit. Simple shit that builds character, that builds strength, that builds the ability to have a reasonable thought and put it together. And it just builds you as a good human being. My child called me and told me she was sorry because she went out in public and he showed his butt. And she knows now that it's because she was being too lenient. Oh, and then, don't worry, the pick your own switch, I hated that. I learned my lesson early on, by the way. You don't pick a smaller one because you think it's going to hurt less. Because them bigger ones hurt less sometimes. I'm going to keep it a bed. Because them small ones is green and wispy and wiry. And that shit'll hurt. The bigger one's older and it might break when you get it. I hated that. Ooh, and when you didn't get the right one, they made you go pick another. Shit. And I love my granny to death, and she's the first one that introduced me to picking my own switch. Okay, back to this. I want y'all to hear this right here, and then we go into the next video. For real. Sorry.
What we need to do to ensure that Iran never achieves the ability to be a nuclear power, that is one of my highest priorities.
A number of experts thought you would say China. The FBI director had said that. But you said Iran. If that's the case, what do you say to critics who look at the actions of your administration and say you're not acting like Iran is the #1 threat?
Wow. Facts.
Well, I will tell you most recently, whether it was in April or in October, in the several hours on each occasion that Iran posed a threat to Israel, I was there. Most recently in the Situation Room, in the most recent attack, working with the heads of our military and doing what America must always do to defend and to support Israel in its requirement to defend it.
Israel and Iran the answer. See, this is what I don't get. Why do we have to do what we have to do to protect Israel? We got struck by a natural disaster. Has Israel reached out to help us? I'm just asking for a friend. I don't understand, Kamala. Where is the threat to America? You're not saying they're going to bomb us next. You're not saying that if we don't protect Israel, they're going to invade us. How is a threat from one country to another the greatest threat to American citizens and this economy and our jobs? How is that the answer? You sound dumb, or maybe I do, because I don't get it. I don't know. But to me, that's a non-answer. That's an evasive answer. That's an answer getting out the rhetoric and the bullcrap you want to get out there. And again, it's substantiate sending my tax dollars somewhere else. And then when the people here need it, we don't got it. I ain't got it. Sound like my uncle, who will remain nameless, who can go pay $20,000 for a car, cash money, but you asked him for $5 to get you a loaf of bread, a pack of bologna, and he ain't got it. He can't fix you a sandwich, but he's sitting on $250 in the bank, and I don't mean 100, 250,000. Yeah, and he'll tell you he ain't got $5 to go get you a sandwich. He won't fix you one. He won't offer you a peanut butter sandwich. He won't even offer you a wish sandwich. That's why he old, alone, and ain't got nobody to leave it to. And nobody to talk to. Shit. Sorry. Not sorry.
Itself, and to give American support to be able to allow Israel to have the resources to defend itself against attack, including from Iran and Iran's terrorist proxies in the region.
Right.
And that is, and my commitment to that is unyielding and unwavering.
Critics just say that you either relaxed or failed to enforce sanctions on Iran, allowing all of this money to flow into Iran, like billions.
Let's go back to Donald Trump, who pulled out of a deal that would have actually put.
But here.
I was waiting on this to catch up. I want y'all to look at these years, okay? 21, 22, 23, 24. Each denomination, the 37, the 54, the 53, and the 51 is billions. I want y'all to show me or explain to me how, when this is squarely, okay, let's discount 21 and 22, and let's say that's the Trump administration. How is 2023 and 2024 the amount of oil revenue that Iran has been allowed to get? How is that the Trump administration's fault? So the understanding that I'm getting from her answer and from what I'm seeing is actual factual research, allegedly, in my opinion, is that the Biden-Harris administration was so weak that they were unable to sway Congress and Senate to help them sanction Iran and repeal those sanctions. But immediately, within 72 hours of taking office, they were able to repeal over 90 other acts that the Trump administration put into place. I smell bullshit. I'm just saying, that's my opinion. I smell bullshit. Agreed, Annette. We are the last.
Iran in check.
The estimated billions.
It was during Donald Trump's administration that Iran
regime.
That we had an American military base that was attacked, where American soldiers suffered traumatic brain injuries, and Donald Trump dismissed them as headaches. Not to mention how Donald Trump has treated and talked about America's military and military service people, calling them suckers and losers, has diminished the significance.
We're talking over each other. I apologize.
I would like that we would have a conversation that is grounded in full assessment of the facts, which includes, I think this interview is supposed to be about the choices that your viewers should be presented about this election, and the contrast is important.
Yes, ma'am.
And on the subject of Iran, I am offering what should be an important contrast that is presented for folks to make a decision
and there are critics
that they feel.
Who look at what the administration did and say and think differently. Madam Vice President, they're wrapping me very hard here. I hope you got to say what you wanted to say about Donald Trump. There are a lot of things that people want to learn about you and your policies, and that's why
I invite everyone to go to KamalaHarris.com, and you will see that I have 80 pages of policies that are quite comprehensive and should be accessible to anyone who would like to read them. And it includes what I intend to do about affordable housing, what I intend to do about small businesses, what I do.
And that's why we invited you here to see where you were in 2019 and where you are now.
America's military, and ensure we have the most lethal and best fighting force in the world.
Madam Vice President, they're giving me a hard rap.
Well, I thank you for the time.
I thank you for the time.
Good to meet you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Get him stuck. She's done. I actually enjoyed that so much. The aftermath of him.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy that they really try to say these people so crazy.
It's really crazy, bro.
100 years.
Here again.
Hey man, being in the military, like a culture, bro. That's
video, but I can't. After Biden said what storm, I'm like done there. But I cannot end this video without playing the clip that they put in. And that is, I'll let you guys interpret what is said. I know what was meant and all that, but sometimes it ain't what you meant, it's what you actually say. And the web is webbing. Okay. The web is doing its thing in webbing. And when I say that because I've seen Jesse on Fire and a few others that have been huge Trump supporters since 2016 playing this clip saying that Biden throws his support in for Trump. So when you see this clip I'm about to play, or they're about to play, and I'm going to replay, you'll understand where that comes from. And if nothing else, get you a good morning laugh. Hey, and we're going to the next video shortly.
Martha, final, I had to dismount there at the end. There's so many things, and she maybe should do more of these.
Yeah, it's over, guys. No, what Joe Biden said today was crazy, but we ain't gotta go find it. I already brought it up.
She beat Trump so badly in the debate, he's scared to death to meet her again.
That was crazy, but hey, with that, I was crying.
They made him practice
She
that
beat
like 10
Trump so
times.
badly in the debate, he's scared to death to meet her again. That's a fact.
Okay, while I'm pulling up the other video, to me that was hilarious. He said she beat Trump so bad in the debate, he's scared to beat her again. Y'all, this is the man that can push the button to start World War III. Let that marinate for just a second. I don't care. Politics be damned. That's scary. I don't do the politic thing. I don't know how many times I can say it. I just see shit like when certain things, there is no shades of gray. And when a candidate can't just say yes or no, that's scary too to me. I'm sorry, not sorry. Okay. I'm not going to close the window or nothing. Y'all just about to see it all. Okay. So, I watch everything, y'all. Javion McGee, if y'all don't know, please go to Taylor House Publishing and MGTV and check out that case. It's right here in North Carolina. It's near Raleigh. I can't cover it with everything going on here like I normally would, but there is a huge police cover-up going on. That young man that was staged, it was made to look like that he unalived himself by HANGING or LYNCHING, and it's not true. Agreed, Amanda. See, this is the thing. I'm willing to see both sides, Amanda, and I agree with you. I've never been a Trump supporter. I've said that forever. I don't like his personality. I didn't like him on the You're Fired show. I didn't watch it. I watched it like one time when Nene Leakes was on there and stuff. I just didn't like it. I didn't like the competitions that were set up between people. I just didn't like it. I didn't like it. And all I can do is get all the knowledge and information that I can from multiple sources, put it in my brain, mix it up, and figure it out as to how I feel and what I think is best, and go from there. And that's all I can tell any of you guys to do. I'm not telling anybody how to think. I'm not. I'm asking questions. I'm concerned. I'm scared a little bit. I can tell you what I've seen and experienced in my own personal life, and I can show you what's out there. And together we make a choice. I just hope that we make a choice that brings us together and unites us. And I have a feeling no matter what choice we make, it's going to be bad. So, becoming available by 10 p.m. tonight on my Teespring. Links are in the description and all that of all the videos. Vote for Chili Pepper with Dottie Mae as VP. 4 paws squarely on the ground, raised right here in the hills of North Carolina. They are both people persons, social, for the people, by the people. And they're willing to work for dog food and treats and love and hugs and kisses. Ah, shit. Sounds like a deal to me. All right. I digress. I'm gonna play a portion of this clip again. Please go over to the Cartier family's channel.
The Economic Club of Chicago and Bloomberg both invited Vice President Harris to a similar interview about her.
Please go over to the Cartier family channel. Make sure you like and subscribe. Hit that thumbs up. There's how you do it. When you walk into somebody's house, you knock on the door first. When you walk into their house, hit that thumbs up and subscribe first. Let them know you're there. All right. I'm going to mute. I'm going to let this interview play. I want you to know I may skip through a little bit of the BS before it gets started because I got a situation occurring. My roommate's getting out. Not happily. It's already gotten physical. And I don't want to be live when they arrive and I just got a text they're en route. And, well, pew pew if need be. I'm sorry. It's like that. But anyway, as you know, I'm putting your motherfucking hands on me again. I don't give a damn. I ain't waiting on no police. I'll be in the morgue with the toe tag before they get here. Anyway, Kamala Harris was invited to do this same interview and declined. Okay. This is for educational purposes. I will be stopping. This is transformative in nature. Please don't strike me, you guys. Please, the networks that are airing these interviews, don't strike these gentlemen. Don't strike me. It's not about money. It's about getting the information out there. To me, this is about contrast and compare. I want to contrast and compare the differences between the two candidates, period. All right.
Her economic plans that she has declined so far. And second, just to set some parameters about this interview, which I was just discussing with President Trump, we're going to focus on business and the economy. And that's partly because this is a business audience, but it's also because voters insist that the economy is the main issue that matters when they vote. So, on that note, let me invite
for you to spend 25 years talking about tariffs as being negative and then have somebody explain to you that you're totally wrong.
the Economic Club of Chicago and Bloomberg both invited Vice
And we're going to protect them when they come in because we're not going to have somebody undercut them.
The Economic Club of Chicago and Bloomberg both invited Vice President Harris to a similar interview about her.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Two things, if you look at it. Number one is for protection of the companies that we have here and the new companies that will move in, because we're going to have thousands of companies coming into this country. We're going to grow it like it's never grown before, and we're going to protect them when they come in because we're not going to have somebody undercut them.
And yes, you're going to find some people who will gain from individual tariffs. The overall effect could be massive.
I agree.
Just so y'all know, I didn't purposely keep doing that. That's YouTube doing that. I think they're trying to block me from showing this. So bear with me. I'm going to show as much as it'll allow me until I get took down. And I just want people to see. I feel Trump can be very divisive. But what he says right here is the smartest shit I've ever heard. And the way that he puts this pompous ass man in his place, I can't do anything but applaud. I'm sorry. And he's just as pompous. So I guess it's one bull to another type thing. You know what I mean? I said this the whole episode. We'll say this now. If anybody would like to help support this channel, I'm getting ready to throw the banner up for a moment with my information. It's all in the description. Be greatly appreciated and needed at this time. If you don't want to support me personally, but you would like to help support victims of Hurricane Helene and Milton, please seek out Samaritan's Purse, your local church organizations. Amazon has a wonderful sleeping bag that's good for adults and children. That's only $20. Right now it's cold. People who have had homes their whole life and are not going to leave their home and their land, and they don't have heat, they don't have a place to sleep, they don't have a roof over their head, would be welcoming of having one. I have a sleeping bag. I've been blessed. Please know that. It was given to me. It's brand new, it's still here. And if I need it, I will be using it. I'm at a standstill. I'm praying that it doesn't get cold enough that it's able to freeze my pipes. I have a water leak from the hurricane that I haven't been able to get fixed. I have damage to my property that's getting worse by the moment. And I still am better off than most and feel very thankful and blessed. Know that. Like I said, anybody that would like to help, Samaritan's Purse and your local churches have been doing the most for Tennessee mountains, North Carolina mountains, Georgia mountains, South Carolina that are afflicted. I can't speak for Florida. I haven't talked to many people there, and I don't know. I can only tell you what I'm living, what I'm seeing, and what I actually know. And I'm telling you, I've even seen for children because they have nothing. Samaritan's Purse has the boy and girl gift boxes with the baby doll and the stuff in it for them. You can't ask for a better group. They're hands-on, cleaning out mud, muck, and helping build bridges and rebuild homes so people have a place to lay their head. They're bringing supplies in to areas that have been forgotten by our government. They're rescuing people. I promise you, my soul, that it is really, really who needs to be thanked and who needs to get that recognition. Franklin Graham, if you want to Google Samaritan's Purse at Franklin Graham, they're in Boone, North Carolina. That's where they're based, right near Blowing Rock, right near Appalachian School that was affected. And they are helping anybody as long as it's in America. They support our troops. My children go every year to help make gift packages for disadvantaged children and for our troops that are deployed overseas. That's what they do on a regular basis. But during times of crisis and devastation, they step up and step out and show out. And our government can't mess with them just like our churches. They are protected. It's a 501(c)(3). Check them out. They do not have a bad rating. You won't find anybody in these areas that they've been helping to say a bad word. Truck drivers, organizations that of just individuals that have come together to help are telling you that they can't get in and our government's turning them away, that Samaritan's Purse and the churches are who is helping get it in there and protecting the supplies. Please know that.
I agree. It's going to have a massive effect, positive effect. It's going to be a positive, not a negative.
Well,
let me just I know how committed you are to this, and it must be hard for you to spend 25 years talking about tariffs as being negative, and then have somebody explain to you that you're totally wrong. It'll have a negative. It will have.
40 million jobs is a lot of jobs to rely on.
They're all coming back.
There's 40 million jobs. There's 40 million jobs in America that rely on trade.
Are you ready? John Deere, great company. They announced about a year ago they're going to build big plants outside of the United States, right? They're going to build them in Mexico.
And you threatened with tariffs and they stopped.
That's right. I said, if John Deere builds those plants and not selling anything into the United States, they just announced yesterday they're probably not going to build the plants, okay? I kept the jobs here.
Critics say your tariffs will end up being like a national sales tax.
No,
because
the country
if you have America at the moment has $3 trillion worth of imports, you're going to add tariffs to every single one of them. That is going to push up the cost for all those people who want to buy foreign goods. That is just simple mathematics, President Trump.
It's not. Yeah, it is, but not the way you figure it. I was always very good at mathematics.
Yes.
Let me tell you, you're saying $3 trillion.
That's $3 trillion worth of imports.
And they don't have to pay. And the higher the tariff, the more likely it is to have them come into
the higher the tariff, the more you're going to put on the value of those goods, the higher people are going to have to pay in shops.
Ready? The higher the tariff, the more likely it is that the company will come into the United States and build a factory in the United States so it doesn't have to pay the tariff.
That will take many, as you know, that will take many years.
In fact, I'll tell you, there's another theory is that the tariff, you make it so high, so horrible, so obnoxious that they'll come right away. When I do the 10%, 10% is really, first of all, 10% when you collect it is hundreds of billions of dollars. The numbers that you're talking about, all reducing our deficit. But really, so there's two ways of looking at a tariff. You can do it as a money-making instrument, or you can do it as something to get the companies. Now, if you want the companies to come in, the tariff has to be a lot higher than 10%, because 10% is not enough. Guys, they're not going to do it for 10. But you make a 50% tariff, they're going to come in. And it's been a tough business. It was a great business many years ago. And I would not let U.S. steel be sold to Japanese, by the way. It's psychologically, I think it would
that's the Nippon steel, as you know.
Yeah, I wouldn't let it be sold. But I would stop it if it hasn't been completed by the time I'm president, because I think it sets a horrible tone. But I had a lot to do with steel. We were going to lose all our steel companies because China, as you remember, was dumping steel at levels that nobody's ever seen before. And I put a 50% tax on that and a tariff on that, all dumped steel. And it was also bad steel. It was what they call dirty steel. It wasn't good steel, which is a bad thing for structural components of buildings and planes and things like that. They were dumping crap into our country. And I put a 50% tariff. I started at 25. I raised it to 50 because the 25 didn't quite do it. I raised it to 50, and that did it. They stopped dumping steel. And I saved our steel mills by having that. We saved it. We saved our steel. Now, what was left, because we've lost so much, but there are certain companies you have to have. There are certain things you have to have. Steel, you have to have. If you go to war...
People are betting that your policies are going to drive up debt, they're going to drive up inflation, so they're going to drive up inflation interest rates.
J-Rock, I wanted to say that. I think I just highlighted the wrong comment, but let me say, I've wondered about that. The Tom Girardi, a lot of y'all might know Aaron Brockovich. He's the lawyer that got that money from that settlement for the PG gas and oil debacle. That was the thing he did, allegedly, is claim dementia to keep out of jail so he can be like in a nursing home or mental type facility. And with everything coming out, with Mark Zuckerberg's testimony about being made to suppress certain things, including the Hunter Biden laptop, and to say it was fake news and all that, you never know what's going to happen. And I pretty much figured Joe's smart enough and politically savvy enough to know he was on a sinking ship and to jump off. I mean, common sense got to come to play somewhere. And I agree in that. Hats, toboggans, jackets, socks, underwear, panties, drawers, sleeping bags, coats, any of that. There's a video, and I'm going to post a link on the community tab about how to use like your old Walmart and Dollar General bags to make sleeping mats. I'm working on making those myself. It's really simple. It's a project that you can do with your child or your grandchild and know that you're helping somebody, not just those that are displaced, but they're great for homeless and homeless shelters. It's something I've been working on for a while. I haven't broadcasted. I don't want pats on the back or none of that. I'm only talking about it now because those of you that don't know about it or know how to do it, maybe I can teach another person. So I'm going to put a video link from the video I watched that actually taught me about it and how to do it. And how many times do we throw them in a big old butt ton of them in a recycle bin at Wally World or wherever? And I don't care what they tell you, them shits don't get recycled. Do you know how many times I watched them clean out those cardboard bins at Walmart and put them in with the rest of the trash in the same damn dumpster? Shit. Let's keep it a band. I'm not lying for nobody, especially not no corporation that treated me like they did. My son was dying and they fired me. My job was threatened because I was putting truth out and they fired me. But they waited nearly 90 days after I missed the day to fire me. Just like they did the dude that had been there for 15 and a half years while his daughter was in the hospital with seizures. He pointed out on their point system. Why did they have to wait? Because at the time that we missed the days at Walmart, their point system was suspended because of the fungalitis. They waited because the point system came back into play, and then they processed paperwork and took action. Let's tell the whole truth. I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm putting it all out there. And their work calls, and whoever the fucking whatever, I can't think of his name right now, Burnett, whatever, from Tennessee, that was pretending to be him or was really him. I don't know, and I don't care. People, him and more people called my local branch and the corporate offices trying to get me terminated because of the Summer Wells case. Straight up. I was harassed and everything else. People don't believe me. I don't care. I'm going to speak the truth, and nobody's going to shut me up. Even if you pew or diddy me or whatever, I still am not going to shut up. I have recordings. I have stuff saved on the flash drives, and if something happens to me, they're all over. Not to mention a couple external hard drives that are out there. So do what you do, because I'll speak more after I'm gone than I am while I'm here. Back to it. Yes. I told people I put some things on my Amazon wish list. If you want to buy it from me, great. If you want to get it and donate it through Samaritan's Purse or through a church, great. And there's several, and everything is like under $30, under $20 for most. Life straws, a cook stove, oh my gosh, there's water purification tablets, tablets to make Clorox with, because it's smaller, it's less shipping prices, stuff like that. So you can look at that. You don't have to send it to me. You can just use that link to go done it, because I've already done price comparisons, found the most economical, like what's the cheapest per tablet, what's the cheapest, best price, but still, 4-star or better rating type thing on Amazon. I wish Temu, they got a wish list, but they don't have one that I can do like Amazon does. I wish they would, because I would sure make use of that for you guys to be able to send, buy and send stuff for pennies on the dollar, but they don't have the name brands, and I don't know about trusting them, honestly, to send something that's a life straw for water purification purposes. I'm a little iffy there. I might trust them for a coat or a blanket, but I don't know. Let's keep it 100% real. I don't know about trusting them for something that I'm ingesting. That's all. Okay. Let me mute and go back.
Are the investors wrong?
Yeah, I had 4 years no inflation. I had 4 years no inflation.
But that was when you had much.
I had 4 years. It's better than that. And Biden has no idea where the hell he is, okay? Biden went 2 years with no inflation because he inherited from me. And then they started spending money like drunken sailors. What does the Wall Street Journal know? I'm meeting with them tomorrow. What does the Wall Street Journal know? They've been wrong about everything. So have you, by the way. You've been wrong.
You're trying to turn this. You've been wrong. No, you're trying to turn this into debate. There are business people.
You're wrong. You've been wrong. You've been wrong all your life on this stuff. How about this? Gavin Newsom, he's the governor of California.
Newsom.
He signed Newsom.
Y'all ain't heard nothing I just said. Okay, basically I told how in one night I saved Walmart nearly $5,000 on theft. And then I was real quick to take the handheld and lock your register up. And Walmart can do it if they choose to. That's the best time to stop theft is before you can walk away from the register based on the laws here in the land I work in. Put your card in. It's a daggum shame. I'll lock that card right in that device. You won't get it out. You won't be able to walk away unless you leave it. And what's on that card? Your name and identity. Sorry, y'all couldn't hear me. Same way I motivated the roommate to hurry up and get out 13 days past due on their rent and utilities. And you sitting here using my electricity, watching the TV on the Wi-Fi that me and the new roommate that's waiting on you to get out the way is paying for. Change the name of the Wi-Fi and the password. Your shit don't work no more. She left that day. Mad. Within 25 minutes of me doing that, she was out here trying to put her hands on me, trying to choke me from behind. Bad day. I got a lot of stress and irritation built up. And now she's trying to make me be on her schedule to come back and move her shit out. You're not coming in here when I'm not here. Not going to happen. And I'm not going to be on your schedule. I'm tired of being Debbie Doormat for people. No, Amanda, I just am trying to get her out. The rent was due for October. We're October 17th, and none of it's been paid yet. I had to take care of it however I could. I lost my work from home job that I was supposed to start that's based out of Asheville. The company's webpage is now 404 unavailable. You go and call, you don't get nothing but a fast, busy signal. The two girls that referred me are out of work too and don't know what they're going to do. Nobody can get a hold of anybody. From the pictures that we've been able to see, the main office building is gone. You could even see the roof. So I don't know. Hopefully, say a prayer about somebody that's going to provide me the transportation, and hopefully I get this job at either the privately owned gas station in the nearby town or at the Murphy's downtown Morganton. Both, Amanda. It's still my mom's estate. I can't close it until my daughter's car is paid for. My mom's name is first on the title. And I can't close mom's estate until I can close it. Everything is in the estate of, including the residence. It sucks. So, as far as getting a loan for any repairs to the residence, even as the executrix, I can't do that. I can't use the equity or that title that's paid for anything to get assistance. And there's no point in FEMA coming out to inspect because they're not going to help me. I fall between the cracks every which way, and it is what it is. I've figured that out. I've sucked it up, buttercup, and I'm doing the best that I can. I was planning on having my muscadine jellies, jams, and wine to sell, and the storm destroyed that. And my canned tomatoes and green beans and chow and everything. I don't know. I don't know right now, but I'm going to figure it out because I wasn't raised to lay down and give up. And that's one thing that I've been reminded of. And maybe we needed that kick in the ass to remind us. I don't know. I just know I've always been taught to turn a negative into a positive, and I'm going to remember that and figure out how to do it. I know my grandparents succeeded with a lot less than I ever had to start with. And I just have to keep reminding myself that. one thing I've learned is things are very much less important than people. We can always replace things. We can't replace people. I do now have power. My water is limited. We are still not allowed to drink it, but thanks to Samaritan's Purse and a couple churches, I have plenty of bottled water. I have access to more if I need it. I'm not going to take more than I need because I don't want to take away from somebody else. All frozen and refrigerated items are really still hard to come by and find around here. That's why I was ready to hug my neighbor when she brought me some real chicken eggs. Y'all don't understand. I haven't had an egg and been able to find one in a store since before Helene hit. So it's different. That's all I know to tell you. The water's going to have to be cut off if it gets any colder with the leak that the storm has got, because it's I'll take some pictures and post them so you guys can see. I don't think I could turn the camera on and get an angle. I don't know how to do it and walk in there without losing reception to the bathroom where it's the worst. Like the cabinets are like a dark brown, I guess walnut color is what you call it. It's like a dark brown, not quite black color. And you can see the whitish stuff on it. And I keep wiping it and cleaning it with bleach, and it's ruining the cabinets, but it's the only way to be safe. The tongue and groove floorboards, between them there's little cracks, and when you step on them, the water kind of comes up between them where it's leaking, and you can see where it's leaking in the wall. It's starting to bow. The siding on the outside of the house is starting to kind of bow out. We had 6 days and 5 nights without power or water. So I do understand, Amanda. Annette, the problem with, yes, the drip will work, but the problem is with that leak and the way the water is leaking out in the walls and around that pipe, even leaving a drip won't keep that from freezing. So it's going to damage electrical. I can't use the furnace because it's on the back side of right where the drip is, and it'll start a fire. And there's so many in this area and areas surrounding us that have similar issues. So I don't want people to think I'm fussing or griping. I'm trying to fix it myself if I can. I just need somebody. I need a second pair of hands, a pipe threader, and somebody to help me turn the water off at the road. Because I can't afford to pay Brentwood Water $75 to come out here and turn it off, and a $75 to come turn it back on. That's ridiculous. I have the hacksaw, I have the replacement parts and everything I need to fix the leak. And I can pretty much do it myself. I just need a pipe threader to rethread the PVC pipe where it's going to have to be cut to fit back in to the, it's like a flexible metal hose pipe with a nut, on the end that you screw it together. Anyway, long story short, I'm working on it. I'm just asking people to pray. I've had multiple people say they're coming and they ain't got here yet. I'm just worried about the damage that it's doing to the home. Because once I'm able to close the estate, I had decided to sell. And honestly, now would be the time if I want to sell, because there's so many damaged properties. And if I could get that fixed, and the damage to the yard and whatnot, and the tree that fell on the roof fixed and all that, it would be the optimal time to sell, because it's a market in this area for it with so many displaced persons. And everybody's like, well, where are you going to go? If you say, well, I'm getting an RV and I'm traveling, I'm doing what I promised my son on his deathbed I'd do. I can't talk about that now. I'm too emotional. Again, any support would be greatly appreciated. It's not required. Give you a shout out, give you a thanks. Hit me up for any sponsorship deals you'd like to do. Let's get back to what we're talking about. Sorry, you guys, I'm not trying to be rude or difficult. I just don't want to get emotional.
Do you think
he corrected me. That's the first time I've been corrected.
There are CEOs out here. If they said those sort of things about a rival CEO, they'd be sacked. Do you think it's
but they
fine
don't
for
have to survive like me. They don't have to go through what I have to go through. There's never been a president that's been treated like me, so I have to fight my own way.
Well, you made a very good job.
He signed a bill in California 2 days ago that you don't even have the right to ask a person for voter ID. And if you ask a person for voter ID, of course you have to show voter ID. The only reason you wouldn't do it because they want to cheat. The bill says you cannot. It's against the law for you to ask a person, may I please see your voter ID when he votes? What is our country coming to?
Well, you've given us a tour d'horizon of where that country might be going to. Thank you very much, President Trump.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for the conversation.
But he's on his ass. He was on his ass.
Of course, they're going to come and negotiate, and their tariffs are going to come down. And finally, Ford and General Motors are going to be able to sell in these places.
How does that sound?
Of course, they're going to come down.
About 20%.
I think we should put tariffs on stuff we.
His logic with the to outsource so they can have cheap labor and have slave labor.
Gotta say though.
When you talk to the former president about tariffs.
This is what I was talking about. I want y'all to hear the explanation. This is CNBC, Squawk Box. Okay. I want you to hear the very simplistic explanation that this gentleman gives about tariffs and the power that they wield for industry within our borders. Just it's the best explanation I've ever heard. And let me tell you something. I know I went through a year of college. I was devoted one whole semester to Reaganomics and trickle down theory and everything else. I want y'all to listen to facts, figures. I want you to hear how long ago this system was put into place and has never been updated, and exactly how it works. It's the most simplistic way. I wish they would teach this in civics class, which I took in junior high school in 8th grade. Supply and demand will never change. Understand that. If somebody wants it and you have the supply, then they got the demand. Okay, back to this.
Do you see it as a bargaining chip, or do you think you're going to see tariffs across the board of 20%?
I think we should put tariffs on stuff we make and not put tariffs on stuff we don't make. It's pretty simple. And of course, it's a bargaining chip. We can't sell a Ford or GM in Europe. You go to Europe, you can't sell a Ford or GM. Why? There's 100% tariffs. How about in Japan? 100% tariffs. So do you think if we said, we're going to tariff you the way you tariff us, do you think they're going to allow Mercedes and all these Japanese companies and Porsches and BMWs to all of a sudden have 100% tariffs in America? Of course not. They're going to come and negotiate, and their tariffs are going to come down. And finally, Ford and General Motors are going to be able to sell in these places.
How does that sound?
Of course they're going to come down. Of course. This is just negotiating.
It absolutely makes sense. If you do it strategically, if it's across the board, it creates a real problem. And the question is whether you believe the president is going to do it strategically or across the board. He keeps saying it across the board.
Well, when you're running for office, you make broad statements so people understand you. Okay? Tariffs are an amazing tool by the president to use. They're an amazing tool, but he understands don't tariff stuff we don't make, right? If we don't make it and you want to buy it, I don't want to put the price up there. It's pointless, but use tariffs to build in America. If we want to make it in America, tariff it, or if we're competing with a tariff it. But you got to remember, we need to protect the American worker. Finally, someone's going to protect the American worker, and Donald Trump is here to protect the American worker.
We make a lot of money in tariffs, or if they're used as negotiating tactics. Look, tariffs will come down there. We're not going to have super high tariffs here either. There's not going to be a big pot of money at the end of the day.
I love that story. So which is it? Do we make a lot of money on tariffs, or we bring productivity here and we drive up our workers here? So it's a win-win scenario. I like both of them. I think what's going to happen is we'll make a bunch of money, on the tariffs, but mostly everybody else is going to negotiate with us, and we will be more fair. In 1948, right, we came up with something called the Marshall Plan, right? The world, Germany and Japan were destroyed after World War II, and we wanted to export our economy to them. So we made a rule. They could tariff us, and we won't tariff them. So they can rebuild.
This is the best explanation I've heard.
So they can rebuild their economy. We rebuilt their economy using something called the Marshall Plan.
Yeah.
Our economy is so awesome that we'll use it to help you rebuild. When should that have ended? What do you think, 1980? Right? 1985? I mean, why 40 years are Japan and Germany and all of Europe still tariffing the heck out of our auto industry, tariffing the heck out of our furniture industry? Do you realize all your furniture you're buying that's made foreign? It seems crazy. Why? It's because they tariff us and we don't tariff them. It's so obvious.
It seems like America just getting.
Yeah, man,
that's what it keep looking like. Just everybody just saying, "F y'all, we want."
Okay. I am about to show y'all the last thing I wanted to show y'all before I say goodbye for the day, or for a while anyway. We're gonna go to X, aka Twitter. This is a post from the Wall Street Apes. Oh Lord, I gotta find my glasses. But I just, I mean, that's the best simplistic explanation I've ever seen for tariffs and how they work, and the fact that it's been put into place since the end of World War II and it's not updated. I think it's time, and let me say this to folks, take this however you will, but don't y'all think it's time? Yes, America used to be thriving. Yes, America used to be able to help other people, and I say we still should when we can. But don't y'all think it's time, maybe, that we say, hey y'all, we're hurting as a nation. We're hurting as a country. We are poor now. Our healthcare system is broken. It's not a wellness system. It's a keep you sick so you spend more money at the pharmaceutical company system. Come on, let's be real. Stop trying to explain everything away and sweep it under the carpet. Listen, I grew up with a family that done that. To sweep everything under the rug and act like it didn't happen. It gets you nowhere. Maybe we need to confront some shit head on and have a different attitude about it. Maybe we need to fix what's inside first so we can help what's outside later. And I'm saying that, and that's something I learned. Because we didn't fix a lot of areas of damage would have been minimalized in North Carolina alone. Had certain infrastructures been fixed rather than put off till later. We don't need to worry about strengthening our dam. We're not going to get flooded in a hurricane. We're in the mountains, right? What happened? The dam broke again. And please believe me, it broke in 2018. There was another issue in 2022, and it's gone in 2024. I don't care what they tell you. Why do you think the people in Lake Lure and Rutherford are so freaking pissed off right now? The dam was going to break. Oh no, it's sustaining. The structure is sustaining. No, it didn't. They lied. When they realized what they told and the liability that it put them under as a government on so many state, federal, local levels, they walked it back. Okay. Wall Street Apes. I'm not familiar with them. They do have a blue check. I don't know what that means on X. American pilot can no longer stay silent about the Kamala Harris administration. This needs to be heard. Hurricane Helene. Do not believe anything the government is telling you. There would be hundreds of more people that were recently found, and people are entombed in their cars. They'll never be found in some cases, and it's just heartbreaking. That is facts. I can substantiate that. I've already been saying that. Now, I hadn't read this. I just read the first sentence where it says needs to be heard. I hadn't read beyond until now. We're reading it together. But as someone that's living it, that what I just read is facts. Facts. I don't know how else to say it. I personally know it to be factual. Period. I'm waiting on it to scroll up where I've already put it. Sorry, y'all. I think you need to know I spent the early part of this week flying supplies in our Bush planes. Me and some other guys kind of put together an effort in conjunction with Operation Airdrop. Can't say enough nice things, by the way, about Operation Airdrop operating out of the Hickory Regional Airport in Hickory, North Carolina, which is about 17 miles to the southwest, I believe, of where I live. It's where my mom grew up after she moved out of Nemo, 9th Street Southwest. Whoop, whoop. Anyway, sorry, can't help it. Do not believe anything the government is telling you. I have personally been up there for the first part of the week, and there isn't any government up there. Your current administration is not up there. By the way, Operation Airdrop is the group that the pilot who was able to rescue the woman but not allowed to go back to get her husband and had to go against what he was told by the Lake Lure fireman. By the way, if y'all saw the interview that I showed y'all, I forgot to point out something. So while the split screen was going on and the lady was in the interview and the reporter was interviewing her because the fire chief that turned away the helicopter pilot wasn't available for the interview, they might want to tell him to go somewhere and sit his ass down. You know why? Because he poked his head in to that interview. Why is it blacking out my... What the heck? Can y'all hear me? Oh, no, they didn't. Let me know if anybody can hear me in the chat. I just got struck. What the heck? Hello, hello, hello. If anybody can hear me. Wow. You can hear me? Okay. Because on my end, everything went black. I can't share the post. It just took it down. I'm going to keep reading it though. Because I feel like they're trying to take it down. I'm going to keep reading, okay? This is current administration because they wanted to politicize this thing. And I hate being political, but I'm going to be for a second. Decided that they would issue a TFR, I'm not sure what that means, yesterday. And so while people are up there that could be within the last hour of their life, for the most part, The airspace was shut down, so any search and rescues that were going on, they had to stop. Planes couldn't fly because they had a TFR, because some politician that wants to run for office has got to get their face on there and get a picture for the media to show that they've been there. Okay, I know that also is true. Okay? I absolutely know that to be true. When Biden came in, when Harris came in, they shut down the airspace and lost vital daylight time for being able to see people, to service people, and to help people. Oh, he's talking and saying it. I might can play it. Let me see if y'all can hear me, y'all be able to hear him. Hold on.
What I love about aviation, but
Hold on.
you know, airplanes, and you don't.
Just hold on. I'm gonna try.
All right, folks, for you guys that follow me and watch me,
I hope this isn't echoing and bad. I'm just gonna do what I know to do.
Airplanes and just having fun and sharing what I love about aviation, but I'm going to do a little bit of a rant right here because I think you need to know. I spent the early part of this week flying supplies in our bush planes, me and some other guys, kind of put together an effort in conjunction with Operation Airdrop, which is an unbelievable organization. These guys are based out of Texas, but they respond all over the country. I encourage you, please go.
Let me know. If y'all were able to hear, somebody call me and let me know if you can hear what I'm playing. My screen on my computer is black for restream. It keeps telling me it's unresponsive. Okay. Cross y'all's fingers. I'm going to have to get the swirl button. It may kick me, but I'll be back. Wait, I said wait. If y'all can hear me, I somehow have lost restream. I can't even shut the stream down. I don't. It's swirling on me. I think YouTube has shut it down, y'all. And I don't even know. I can't even stop it. If I get cut off, you know why. That's all I know to tell you. This reboot works. Let me know if you guys are still there and able to hear me. It's on a delay. Yeah, they took me down in the middle. Sure did. This is why my videos and everything went from getting 500 to 1,000 views to barely pulling 200. Okay, I'm going to mute and play this before I say goodbye. I'm not giving up on my peoples. I want you to hear this guy. This is X. I'm going to play it. Screw it.
Please go to Operation Airdrop, check them out, and support however you can. I'm standing here in front of an American flag because what I'm talking about is American. Americans get together, and
and we help each other, right? We help each other and we come together when times of crisis, and it's the thing to do, and that's what we're all trying to do. And there's good people out there trying to do it. At the risk of rambling, I just want to go ahead and to say a few things and get it off my chest. First and foremost, do not believe anything the government is telling you. I have personally been up there for the first part of the week, and there isn't any government up there. Your current administration is not up there. There's occasionally you might see a National Guard. On Tuesday, when we were flying into some of the muddy back strips where regular planes can't get into, I saw one. Count it, one. I saw one Black Hawk medevac helicopter, and that was it. Everything else was private. We've got the groups from Acme Aero, based out of Denver, North Carolina. These guys, Matt McSwain and his guys and his team over there are working with Operation Airdrop. They're putting on an unbelievable effort. I will try and post the link. I'll try and post the link so you can donate. They're burning from $30,000 to $60,000 a day in fuel to get the helicopters in and out to get people. The devastation is unbelievable. It is over and above anything I could ever imagine. Flying around on Tuesday, listening to the search and rescue frequency, it's heartbreaking. We got word that last night I heard that there were hundreds of more people that were recently found, and people are entombed in their cars. They're entombed in just mud. They'll never be found in some cases, and it's just heartbreaking. And the look of people and the desperation on their faces, it's a lot. It's a lot to take on, but they need us. They need you. They need everybody to get together and do what you can to help out. We have gotten to the point in the week now where, the roads are starting. Some are getting opened up, so trucks are getting supplies in, but they still need good people, good volunteers, and some pilots to get into the areas they can't. Obviously needing money for fuel. Also, I wanted to say something else that just really kind of has pissed me off. For those of you guys who may or may not know, a TFR is a temporary flight restriction. This current administration, because they wanted to politicize this thing, and I hate being political, but I'm going to be for a second, decided that they would issue a TFR yesterday. And so while people are up there that could be within the last hour of their life, for the most part, the airspace was shut down. So any search and rescues that were going on, they had to stop. Planes couldn't fly because they had a TFR, because some politician that wants to run for office has got to get their face on there and get a picture for the media to show that they've been there. Well, let me tell you something. They're not doing anything to help me, and they're not trying to help. They're not doing anything to help the people that need it. And I can't help but to think some of the people that are suffering, that needed insulin, that needed baby care, that needed medicine, are sitting there stuck where maybe an hour or two earlier somebody could have got them or could have found them, because some stupid politician had to get their face plastered all over the media like they're doing something. But let me tell you something, they're not. I told myself before I got on this thing, this is certainly not rehearsed, that I wasn't going to get fired up and emotional about this, and I apologize for that. That wasn't my intent. But what my intent is to just, it's a call to action to everybody. Get out there, help in any way you can. Get your local church, get your local community, put together donations, get in your vehicles, drive them over to wherever you can get to. If it needs to get to a place where they can airlift it to North Carolina or Tennessee or Augusta or Florida or down in South Georgia or Valdosta, anywhere that needs help, they need you. But anyway, I implore you guys to get active. Do not believe what you're seeing on TV. The media is not showing you what is actually going on. It is, it's one of the saddest things I've ever seen. And the look on the folks' faces that I saw when I got out of the airplane and unloaded the first goods to some people that hadn't seen anybody yet. It was something that'll live with me forever, and I can't describe it. But what I do know is that the Lord has blessed a lot of us with the ability to, and maybe sometimes the talent to get in there and help people. And that's what I call everyone to do. Use whatever God-given abilities and God-given talents, because at the end of the day, everything that you have is a blessing from the Lord, and you need to get out there, and it's incumbent upon us to share it for those that need it. Get out there, help those people in your communities that need it. God bless you, and God bless America. Go get them.
Amen. And that's what I've been preaching every time I've been live since the storm. Please, Samaritan's Purse and churches. Samaritan's Purse is a 501(c). They also work with local churches and other 501(c) organizations. They have been amazing. I can't say enough good. They're based in Boone, North Carolina. They are not just distributing to North Carolina. It's getting cold here, you guys. For real. It's getting cold. And a lot of people are worse off than me and need help. And I'm not asking you to give money to me and donate to me. I'm telling you, Samaritan's Purse. Go to your local churches, food banks. Our government can't touch the churches. They can't. They've tried. They can't. They can't stop Samaritan's Purse. They've tried and they can't. Samaritan's Purse is going to drop down and pray for them if they come. I've seen the prayer circles. I watched them encircle a residence with their backs and hands in prayer to stop them being stopped. It's not fake. It's not exaggerated. It's not wives' tales. It's real. And it could be you next. That's what's scary. It's an act of nature. Biblical. So therefore, it can't be blamed on our government. And let me say this. They weren't prepared either. And it's not, I want everybody to understand, I'm not bitching that they didn't do enough. I'm not bitching about, what I'm saying is, all the bureaucracy, all the red tape, all the bull crap, that slowed it down. That should have been out the damn window. Just like neighbor against neighbor, the Hatfields and the McCoys were joining hands to feed each other. Do you understand what I'm saying? Neighbors that have had beef over a fence line for 20 years threw it to the left to make sure food and water was there, because that was the number one need. They can argue about that shit later. And they probably still will. They probably still don't like each other. But that didn't matter, and it don't matter right now. I've seen it. I've been in the middle of it. I'm living it. I understand. We still have family unaccounted for. So, I love you guys. I do have to say peace, love, and light. I have had a loss in my family, unexpected. The ventilator was removed and they passed away overnight. I'm just asking for prayers. Please, I'll be back as soon as I can. And the information's in the description on the channel and across the bottom line. If anybody would like to support the channel and can, if you can't, please don't do anything you're not able to do. I don't want anybody to do without anything. I would never ask that. And again, if you do charitable donations, I'm asking, begging, check out Samaritan's Purse, Franklin Graham. They have a website. Go look at it. I've been posting a link to them in my community tab section and in the description box of videos and live streams. Honestly, let's see, I'm doing right now to try to make sure that I'm adding the Samaritan's Purse link to the live stream description right now while we're speaking. Just bear with me here. And for anybody that also the Amazon descriptions in there, if you guys want to look at some of the supplies that would be very helpful. There we go. The Samaritan's Purse link. Okay. I'm just making sure there's a. Sorry, y'all. In the description box here, the first link that you'll see posted is the link for Samaritan's Purse. If anybody would like to check them out and donate, I've made sure to add that to the description box link along with my normal links. I'm going to try to get the t-shirts, Vote for Chili Pepper, up on Teespring. Just trying to think anything else that I need to say. But check them out. Check into them. Don't just take my word and donate to Samaritan's Purse. Check them out. Check out the interwebs and see what they've been doing and where they've been and everything else, you know. I'm going to say peace, love, and light. Oh, hold on. I'm asking for prayers and support. Hit that subscribe, hit that like, share this out. As y'all can tell that we're watching during the broadcast, they tried to take me down. They've shadow banned me. Nobody can find me when I'm live or even knows I'm going live anymore. Even when I make a post, y'all are not getting notifications. It's really frustrating. I put a lot of work and effort in that people don't realize, and pray that I get one of these 2 jobs and then my transportation holds up. Just pray, not just for me, but for everybody that's been affected, and honestly for our whole nation, because what happens in the next 20 days could change our lives forever. I've never felt this way about an election. I'm almost 53 years old, and I want to leave y'all with this thought. I have never had such a big fear of what was going to happen in election time. Never felt so uncertain of where I lived. I want to be proud again. Why would anybody want to come from another country and live here? Why would they want to be a citizen when our country treats you better if you're a non-citizen? What's the motive? When the people that were born here or that legally obtained citizenship are treated worse than those who break the law and come. If we went into their country the way they're coming to ours, we probably wouldn't have our lives. I don't understand. And again, I'm not advocating violence, or I don't want anybody to reach out to be violent, to be rude, to be disrespectful to anyone. I love all people. I respect all people at all. I equally. I don't care where you're from. I don't care what color your skin is. I don't care what language you speak. It's not about that at all. It's about the people in power making decisions and choices that I think on purpose pit us against one another so that we can't really focus on what they're actually doing. That's my opinion. And opinions are like bungholes. We all got one and they really stink most of the time. And I'm not saying I'm the brightest bulb on the bush, but what I am is I am for unity, and I think that we all need to come together. If you don't believe And putting your differences aside and coming together as one can accomplish anything. And you've not paid attention to what's been going on in Florida and Georgia and South Carolina and Tennessee and North Carolina. We have shown you that with or without your government, that we as a people can make a difference and a change, and we can help one another more than fucking Kamala Harris and Joe Biden and Donald Trump and any of them can. You, as an individual, putting your mind and your determination to it and organizing others around you can make more of a difference than they ever dreamed of. And we can show them we're not going to take it. And we're not going to sit down and take it. Don't do it for yourself. Do it for your children. Do it for your grandchildren. Do it for the next generations behind us. They deserve better than what we're giving them. And that's where I'm ending. Peace, love, and light. See y'all, hopefully,